Hello, hello. Testing, testing, 1, 2, 3, A, B, C, D. How is audio? Ooh, what kind of controller is that? It's very white and turquoisey. Is that supposed to be a light at the bottom of the controller? Audio is good. Okay, thank you. Huh. Oh dang. Flashbang. Oh. Okay, that was kind of loud. Damn.
Please be happy.
Oh, okay.
Take your time.
Let's look at the option
I'll just
turns.
be here.
Oh, okay. At least there's voice acting, so that's good. Text, sound. How is the game audio? Can I actually? How do I change it? Okay. Okay, well, I guess we'll save it at that. I don't want it to be too loud. I guess I should put it a little bit higher, huh? Okay, that hopefully should be good. Okay, let's go return and
You'd
start.
like to tell me a story? Please, go ahead.
Okay. Oh. Fog settled over the forest, far from the villages and towns, and with it came silence. Birch trees shivered, pondering the weather, and dropped their leaves in fright. Streams bubbled unseen by man, and babbled like birds in the trees. Oh. In the middle of the forest was a grove, and in the middle of that grove was a log. It had been years since it had fallen, once one of the proudest trees around, and now in death was home to an abundance of life. A line of frantic ants ran to and fro, mushrooms, cloud-like and pillowy, spotted across one side like a footpath for fairies. Nearby an old toad flopped contentedly in the mud. And inside the deep, damp hollow of the tree, something slept. A traveler strolled into the grove. Their steps were slow and tired, and they spotted the log with relief, like greeting an old friend, weary from the day's journey. The traveler sat to take a rest. Whoosh! With the scrabbling of nails on rotten wood, a shadow bolted from inside the log to the tall grass nearby. The traveler watched the brush rustle as a faint patch of fur appeared within. Hello there, friend. I didn't mean to disturb you. They held their hand toward the grass, offering a piece of dried fish. At first there was no reaction, and then... First a snout appeared, quivering as it tested the air, then followed by the rest of the fox, sleek and tawny. As she took several slow steps forward, her amber eyes were alight with mistrust, but also with wild, wild curiosity. The strangers sat unfazed, their offering still outreached. They dared to meet the fox's eyes, and in that glance felt something kindred. As the fox closed her jaws around the gift, a bond was made. Maybe we aren't so different, you and I. The traveler returned the next day, and the day after that. Each day they brought some treat for their new friend. Each day the fox's step grew a little more trusting. One day, when the traveler arrived, the fox was sitting in the clearing, waiting patiently.
Hello, my friend. Have you been waiting long?
Oh. The fox peered up at the traveler. Her amber eyes were warm and trusting. She accepted her gift of meat, gnawing it at the traveler's feet. then and there. The traveler sat, imprinting into their mind the feeling of the wood beneath them, the clean air around them, and the tender bond of companionship.
Where is your home, little fox? Is it here in this grove? Or do you come to see me too? This will be the last time, I'm afraid. Because I'll be going home tomorrow. Home is such a small place compared to the rest of the world. Yet, it's some place I can't wait to return to. I wish I could bring you with me, little friend. I wish that you could see the world too. Your home is all around me though, isn't it? It's wherever the trees are, wherever the leaves fall. Little fox, perhaps it's you who's the more fortunate of the two of us.
All too soon it was time for the traveler to go. As they bade goodbye to the forest and to the fox, they knew that they would not return, but that they would carry the memories with them always. The next day, the fox was sitting in the clearing, waiting patiently. Oh, Chapter 1 of Foxes and Fables.
We've now docked at Wellington Skyport.
Oh, we got achievement of Foxes and Fables. Begin Chapter 1. Oh, okay. Oh, it's a morning
Thank
too.
you for flying with Kiwi Airlines, and we hope to see you again.
Kiwi Airlines. Like kiwi as in like the little animal or the fruit? The intercom's announcement is muffled in the closet where I'm hiding, just like the clatter of the seatbelts and the chattering of passengers getting ready to disembark. I wiggle around impatiently, sore from crouching in here for I don't even know how long it's been, hours for sure. The last few minutes always feel like they take the longest. A parade of footsteps begin to pass by outside my door. It's time. Oh, is this the little fox from the forest? I listen carefully, waiting for a gap in the crowd. When it comes, I stand up and push the door open in a single movement. I give a wink to the shocked-looking lady that I stepped out in front of. She doesn't even have time to gasp before I'm out of her sight. Humans, they're always kind of slow. Damn. I nod at the smiling flight attendant and as I pass by her, and then throw up my hood to cover my face. It's been a while since I last flew, but it doesn't seem like things have changed much. It's always been harder to sneak on than it is to sneak off. I follow the crowd to the end of the walkway and step out onto the ground. After a long stretch, I take a deep breath and savor the fresh air after being stowed away for so long. Wellington Skyport, New Zealand.
I made it!
My breathless voice joins the pleasant hum of the Skyport. Okay, so we're playing as Miho then. A few clouds drift lazily overhead, almost within arm's reach. The sound of the waves rolling into the shore is like a lullaby. It makes me want to burrow into the sand and take a nap. But I can't. First I need to get out of here, and there's one more challenge ahead. Up ahead, the snaking line of passengers splits as people are funneled into a few security stations. While I'm too far back to hear what the guards are saying, it looks like they're examining a little booklet from each traveler before letting them pass. Humans sure like processes and procedures. I definitely don't have a booklet like that. Glancing around, I hope to find another way out. An open window would work, or even an unguarded exit. I'm pretty sneaky when I need to be. Unfortunately, it looks like the only way to leave is to go through security. Without any other option, I join one of the lines and prepare myself. I'll have to do this the old-fashioned way. The lines move briskly as passengers are cleared one after the other, and I'm almost at the front of the queue before I know it. As the passenger in front of me approaches the booth, I listen
Good
closely.
afternoon. Passport, please. Right here. It's good to be home.
I'm sure. Welcome back.
He stamps something in the man's booklet and then hands it back to him, and he continues on out of the skyport.
Next.
That's me. I don't know what they're gonna do to people without any papers, but I don't want to find out. I'm sure it involves a lot of questions, being escorted around and other unpleasant stuff. Casually approaching the gate, I put on my brightest, friendliest smile, while keeping a slight distance, with my breathing steadily and tail calm. I'm sure I put on a convincing
Passport,
act.
please.
Of course.
I fumble around in my pockets pretending to look for my passport. Instead, I grab the useless clunky phone that I've been carrying around and let it clatter to the ground at the guard's feet. As expected, he bends down to retrieve it
Oh,
for
let me
me.
get that for you.
And I make a run for it, bolting ahead and rushing past security booths as quickly as I can.
Hey, you wait.
Stop!
By the time they realize what's happened, I already have a few seconds head start. My inhuman speed combined with the natural chaos of the skyport should also buy me a bit of time. Still, I've got to get them off my tail. Oh, am I supposed to click that? What the heck? Dashing through the skyport doors and out into the road outside. I don't even have time to take in the city. Without stopping for a breath, I run into a narrow street while weaving between cars and shocked bystanders. Being seen by so many people like this is annoying, but it won't matter by tomorrow. Putting the thought out of my mind, I vault over a low wall into the nearby alley and land in a crouch. Out of sight, but only for a moment. I close my eyes and relax my muscles. All feeling disappears except a slight warmth against my neck. My secret weapon. The unremarkable looking necklace is one of my only possessions, and by far the most important. A certain one of the beads strung around my neck begins to heat up in response to my will, a soothing warmth flowing through my body. My hands and feet begin to morph. First the fur chasing up my arms and legs as they distort and shorten. This sensation was so bizarre the first few times I tried. It's amazing how it becomes second nature by now. Closing my eyes, I let my body and head shift and turn. The face is always a little uncomfortable, my once human face changing and lengthening into a snout with some difficulty. The process complete, only after a few seconds, I open my eyes not as a human, but as a fox. Oh, okay. I dart away without waiting, far quicker on 4 legs than I could ever be on 2. Obstacles like the stack of garbage cans ahead would be a pain to get past as humans, but instead I'm able to flip between the gaps without slowing down.
That's her! I know it!
Huh. Sounds like the security guard hasn't given up on me yet. I picked up the pace, running as fast as my paws will take me. His heavy breathing gets farther and farther away, and in just a minute or two, I know I'm safe. I don't know where I am, but it's not like I knew where I was when I started running. I almost feel bad for the guy who was chasing me. He never stood a chance. Even in the crowded city streets, there's no way anyone or anything that can outrun me. The wind just wishes it could keep up with me. Comfortable that's the dangerous pass, I slip into another alley. Once I'm sure that I'm alone, I close my eyes and concentrate on the form I want to take once more. That familiar flowing warmth runs through me again, my body stretching and deforming at my command. A few seconds later, and I open my eyes to glance at my hands.
Better luck next time.
Brushing the dust off myself, I nonchalantly stroll out of the alleyway and back into the street. The odd person walks by on his errand or another, not paying any attention to me, just the way I like it.
Left, right, past turn, left.
Mapping out my path in my head, I look for a way to the main roads. It'll be easier to get my bearings there. I pick turns at random without any real destination in mind. When I decided to make the journey to Wellington, it was pretty impulsive. I'd overhear another pair of travelers talking about it and how beautiful a city is. With a moment now to take in the scenery, I can see that they weren't wrong. The streets around here seem like a mix of homes and businesses. Everything is very colorful. Even the brick walls are covered in pictures and paint. In the distance, I can see green hills that are lined with houses, as well as green hills that are completely empty. There are a lot of hills now that I look around some. From just a few streets away, the sound of pedestrians and busy intersections floats my way. I head in its direction, taking shortcuts through yards and driveways when it's convenient. In one lawn, a big dog growls at me as I walk past, but when I transform and growl right back, he tucks his tail and runs away. Dogs and I have always had an understanding. After squeezing through one last narrow side street, I finally emerge into what looks like a main road. There's no cars here, but tons of people on foot. There are brightly colored signs and decorations on most of the buildings. In the middle of the street, there are fountains and benches and trees and all kinds of stuff. The best part of it is a variety of stores. When I stroll past a few of the windows and peek in, I can already tell that I'll be able to do most of my shopping around here. There are stores with food, with clothes, and with just about everything else. I don't have any money on me, but that isn't exactly a problem. What is a problem is that it's too crowded. Dodging a couple of security guards is one thing, but trying to escape down a busy street with lots of people could be too much even for me. I'll just have to remember where this place is and make another visit later, after all the shops are closed. Then a man in a bright coat hurries past me, talking loudly on his phone in a language I don't recognize. He's so distracted that he doesn't even notice when his wallet falls out of his pocket and onto the sidewalk. I notice, of course. Seeing an opportunity, I zip over and snatch it up, prying open the black leather pockets I find.
Score.
Damn, a little thief right here. A couple of bills in what I figure is the local currency, I slide the money out and into a pocket of my jacket. By now the man is so far ahead and he's almost out of sight. I have to hurry to catch up to him to give him back his wallet, and he barely even says thank you.
Should have just kept the whole thing.
It's only fair that I get a little something for myself, since it's not like he would have ever gotten it back without me. I head back to my bench and inspect my prize. A blue bill and a brown one. These feel sturdy, nothing like paper I expected.
1, 0, 10, and 5. So 15.
15 isn't much. I definitely should have kept the whole wallet. Oh well, at least this should be enough to buy myself something to drink. My thirst is starting to get the better of me, and I haven't had anything since I snuck onto the airship. Following my nose, I walk down the busy street until I find one of the many cafes lining the path. The sign hanging above its front door has a picture of a bell on it. A charming bell rings out from above the door as I enter. I can't help but savor the wave of refreshing cool air washing over me, which feels even better after so much running.
Hiya! Welcome to the Bell House.
Oh. Oh, okay, so I'm assuming in this world probably not everyone, but like, crossbreed, or what are they called? Human hybrids? I think that's what they're called. Are normal. Bird. I feel like she might be an eagle. The barista right behind the counter is the only other person in the store right now. Excuse me. As I nod in greeting and she leans forward with a cup in one hand and a pen in her other.
What can I get you? We're having a special on affogatos if you want to try one. Usually, they're like $7, but today, they're only 5. I'd like a...
I'm not sure what an affogato is. Isn't that a vegetable? Not wanting to commit to the strange sounding drink, I look at the menu instead. Unfortunately, it's full of handwritten, spindly letters. I can't read a single word. There are no helpful pictures. Safe option is...
I'll just have a vanilla latte. Ugh, boring. But okay. Name?
That's crazy.
Mio.
It's my first time testing out how that name sounds, and I decide that I like it. I decided on the airship that was the name I would use here in Wellington. I've used so many names throughout my life that I can't remember most of them. For each new city that I visit, I come up with something new. Foxes don't have any use for names, so nobody ever gave me one. She scribbles something on the cup with a black marker. If that's how this name looks, then I'm even more pleased with it.
$4.50, please.
I hand her the brown bill and she gives me back a big coin with a picture of a boat on it.
Alright. I'll have this ready for you in no time.
She sure seems enthusiastic. I nod as she spins around and starts working. Looking about somewhere to sit, I decide on a seat by the window with the sun pouring in. Near the entrance of the cafe, there's a wire rack with a stack of maps and tourist pamphlets, so I grab one of the maps before taking my seat. This cafe is big and bright, with plants everywhere. They're on the walls, on the floor, and on the ceiling. Most of them are real and vibrant, obviously being well cared for. Even the lights that hang down from the ceiling have glass ornaments with the little shrubs in them. Oh, that's kinda cute. Seems like I made a good choice coming here. Any place with a bit of nature in it is more comfortable to me than places without.
Guess I should find a place to stay.
Looking down to the map I took, I traced the path I made from the port to this cafe. It's useful, but it doesn't really tell me anything helpful about the houses in particular. I'll need to find a higher vantage point. I move my finger along the hills I noticed from outside, following the little brown path to the patch of green with the little mountain icon. That should work for now. My ears perk up right as the barista arrives and places my drink in front of me.
Thanks.
I reach over and take the warm cup in my hand, but the barista doesn't let go.
You ready for the rain tomorrow? Huh? It's gonna rain tomorrow.
The barista's voice sounds so familiar, but I can't tell where I've heard it from. I glance behind me out the window. It's as sunny and blue as day as I've ever seen.
How do you know that? There aren't any clouds out there. I'm just good with the weather. Anyway, if you forget, then you'll be sorry.
She finally lets go of my drink and heads back behind the counter. People are weird. Does the barista pull that on everyone? Standing on the doorstep, I have my first sip. Sounds a bit like Azula. Kinda, like a nicer Azula. Women high deck. With animal ears.
Oh, this is really good.
It's pretty plain but well made. The coffee isn't too bitter, which is perfect for me. With a moment to myself, my thoughts turn inward and I sip the warm drink. My first travels were in search of someone, but despite my whole life being spent trying, I haven't made any progress in finding them. So I've taken to simply wandering, going wherever I wish at the time. I've been itching for a change of scenery anyway, so I boarded. Well, snuck into the first airship that I could. The best part about owning nothing but the clothes I wear on my back is that I can pick up and leave whenever I feel like it. I take a moment to get my bearings and look around. I see a tired-looking person shuffling along the far footpath with a briefcase in their hand. They stop outside one of the buildings, take a deep breath and pat their face a couple of times, and then go inside. They must not be looking forward to whatever is going to happen in there. Maybe they have to fight someone. Through the large glass windows of another store, a fawn is trying on a pair of shoes, but they don't seem to fit her hooves. The people waiting with her look annoyed. I wonder if she fusses around with her footwear a lot. For a while, I simply let the day roll by and watch the various figures who stroll by. People watching is fun, especially in such a busy city. Okay, so I guess it's like both normal humans and then the hybrid animals. Eventually, I go to sip my coffee, only to find nothing coming out. With no more reason to stick around, it's time to go. Is that even the right term? Is it human hybrids? Or like, or is there another word for it? Water. On the sunlit street, I look about to match what I can see with the map's directions. There's a tall green mountain in the distance ahead of me, which must be the one on the map. It'll be the perfect vantage point for the city. Ideally, I'll find an empty building I can crash in, but it's not necessary. A roof over my head would be nice, but I'm plenty used to sleeping outside under the stars. Sometimes it's better than sleeping in bed. Encouraged by the plan forming into my head, I set off on the long walk to the summit. The path to the mountain turns out to be less simple than the map made it look. First, the trail takes me along the waterfront, and then it turns upward through a small forest area. Being among the trees and their tall shadows make me feel at home. When the path leaves the woods again, I'm a little disappointed. It leads up a paved road, so I stick to the edge to avoid passing cars. Sometimes I take shortcuts through yard or up unmarked paths. There are quite a few nice-looking homes right along the roadside. I make a mental note to go check them out when I am low on money or food. Not much further along, a concrete lookout offers another glimpse of the city below. A couple airships are coming in to dock at the skyport, probably from one of the other floating islands. Floating islands? There's still a ways to go to the top of the mountain, but luckily the walk has been easy so far. I wouldn't even consider it a hike. Eventually, I reach the final stretch of road. I can see where it curves ahead to the summit, and I hurry to the end. A metal railing spreads out like a crown on top of the mountain. As I go to toss my empty cup away, a pair of chatting tourists pass me
How far
by.
is it from here?
Oh, about an hour from the base of Mount Victoria, so a bit further from here.
Mount Victoria.
I'm glad to know what this place is called. I say the name out loud to help commit to the memory. Standing at the edge, I'm treated to a wonderful view of Wellington. The city forms a crescent moon shape around the bay, which glitters like a sapphire from up here. The sun is starting to set, and that makes the water even more shimmery. Even more airships can be seen coming and going. I think that I can see the edge of the floating island we're on, miles out in the open sky. I survey the city using the skyport as a reference point. From up here, what felt like such a long chase really doesn't look far at all. If I strain my eyes, I think I can even see the coffee shop from earlier. What was it the barista said it was called? The Bell House? It's kind of tough to make out details. My hearing and sense of smell may be great, but my eyes aren't that much better than a human's. Then I noticed something useful.
Look! Is that our house?
Probably. What can you see from here?
I see Dad's car!
Not too far away, there's a little kid who's using a pair of metal tubes attached to a post. His mom is helping him aim it at the city. It must be something that improves your vision. The moment the kid and his mom leave, I hurry over before someone else can get to them first. When I press my eyes in the same spot that child did, though, all I can see is black. I try moving it around, but it doesn't change. Is this thing busted? Some text is printed on the side. I have no idea what it says. There's a small slot, though, with a picture of a coin next to it. Lucky for me, it's the coin that has a 50 on it. I put the coin that I received from the barista into the slot and spin a lever. The machine eats my coin, and then, when I put my eyes to it again...
Yes!
Everything looks much closer now. Even the trees on the edges of the hill appear in crystal clear detail, like I'm standing right next to them. I aim the viewing glass at the city and look around, trying to find a good place to rest for the night. Houses are a no-go. Even if they look empty or abandoned, you can never let your guard down for a minute. Same with most shops. I don't have enough money for a hotel, and I won't risk sneaking into one of those either. As I'm studying the sights, trying to memorize as much as I can, there's a clicking sound, and once again the view goes black. Stupid machine. I smack it a couple of times and check again, but I still can't see anything.
Well, whatever. Looks like I'm sleeping outside tonight. Guess this place is as good as any.
I head back down the trail a little and veer off into the underbush.
Not perfect, but it'll do.
It's not exactly the wilderness, but just about everything around here seems cityfied to some extent. Usually when I make a den, I prefer to find a place far from other people, a place where nobody will find me. I doubt I'll find anything perfect, but this is good enough.
It's fine. Can't afford to be picky.
Once the trail I was on is out of sight, I transform again. My neck gets warm as my bead activates. A few seconds later, I'm on all fours. As a fox, the sensations of nature are much stronger. The earth beneath my paws is cool and refreshing, and the breeze whips through my tails like a massage. I hurry down a hill covered in grass, so tall that it reaches way over my head. I can smell fresh water and follow the scent to a small stream, where I'm able to quench my thirst. It's just as satisfying as the drink I got at that cafe, but in a different way, and being able to slurp up water is way more enjoyable than having to use a straw, or worse, one of those lids with the tiny holes. For a while, I follow my nose to some berries and some edible plants that'll do for a snack. Unfortunately, unlike the water, foraging is never as satisfying as eating human food. If I wanted a real meal tonight, then I should pick up the pace before it gets too late. Still, I want to get this done now, while there's still daylight. I keep close to the stream and search for a place where the ground is soft. Before too long, I find a promising area, a small valley with hills on most sides and thick foliage on the others. I'm still close enough to civilization to hear cars and other city noise, but the area I'm on, it doesn't seem like it gets visited very often. At the very least, it doesn't really smell like people. The spot that I settled on is a nice mound of earth near the edge of the woods, partially hidden by a tall tree with low-hanging leaves. Even if no one comes by, it'll make me feel better knowing that I'll be out of sight. And so I start to dig. My claws rip away the dirt as I burrow downwards, widening the tunnel just enough for my sleek frame to fit. First, I dig forward and then downwards, widening out an area that's big enough for my whole body to fit. This is something I've been doing my whole life, even back when I was just a regular fox. You recognize the girl's voice? Who is it? Excuse me. I think that's why I don't mind it too much compared to sleeping inside somewhere. It just feels right to me. Me, 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 me. Me, 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 me. Tovu? I don't know who that is. Is that a VTuber or a voice actor? It takes a little while, and by the time I'm finally finished, the first few stars have started to peek out from the sky. I shake myself clean from the dirt that sticks to my coat, and then transfer it back to my human form.
Spread this here, a couple of branches here, some leaves there.
I walk around the valley a bit, checking from different angles.
Not bad for just an afternoon's work.
If you weren't looking for it, I don't think you ever notice anything out of place. All that digging has made me work up an appetite, and not the kind that I'll be satisfied with just a few berries.
I'm so hungry. I haven't had a real meal since yesterday.
My stomach rumbles painfully. I've been so busy since arriving here in Wellington that I kind of forgot just how hungry I was. I'll grab some human food back in town. Casting one last glance at my afternoon's work, I set off towards the city.
Work never ends. Time to get some food!
Voice actor, her other persona is a popular VTuber. Oh boy. My spidey senses tingle so hard there, so I'm not surprised. Well, what VTuber is it then? I'm a bit disappointed when I finally get back to the busy street from before. I was hoping that it would be emptier now, and that all of the stores would be closed. Turns out I was half right. A lot of shops have gone dark for the evening, but there are just as many people walking around now as there were earlier. In fact, there might even be more. The patio of the restaurant has a bunch of tables full. A mermaid is sitting in the fountain I sat by earlier, chatting with Cyclops. Even the cafe that I visit is crowded now, with a line almost out the door. After pacing up and down the road for a while, I sit down and try to figure out what to do next. I'm not too worried about what would happen if I got caught stealing. I'd just escape, obviously, and even if they somehow managed to catch me, it wouldn't be an issue for very long. See, there's something different about me that makes me extra good at being a thief. It's not just the skills I've practiced over the years, like picking locks and sneaking around. No, it's a bit more special than that. Without fail, every single person I meet forgets about me by the next day. I don't know why, but I don't really care. Either it's magic, that's all I know about it, really useful magic. Everywhere I go, no matter how careless I am, all of my problems are solved by the next day. That doesn't mean there's no danger. I've been caught in the act before and beaten or harassed before I can manage to get away. I've even lost a few prizes that I stole fair and square because I had to get going in a hurry. But if someone sees me but isn't able to stop me, I know that I'll be home free. Sure, they might remember having something stolen, but they'll never know who did it. It always makes things too easy. Right now, it would be smarter to just come back even later in the dead of night and hope that there are no people around. I'd be able to take my time browsing without having to worry about making a quick escape. Where's the fun in that, though? I walk casually up and down the street, glancing into windows without being too obvious about it. Some stores still have customers inside, others have locked their doors and shut off the lights. Most of the restaurants are still open and are only making me hungrier. Stealing from restaurants is a bit much even for me, though. I've tried it before, but the cluttered kitchens as well as all the tables and chairs make it hard to get around. Plus, I've learned the hard way that there are plenty of hot or sharp things for angry cooks to throw at you as you try to make your way out. Instead, packaged and pre-made foods are my best friends, things that I can grab multiples of at once and stuff into my pockets. If I'm really lucky, I'll find a place with refrigerated sandwiches or salads, or sometimes perfectly good hot food that gets thrown out. You wouldn't believe the kind of stuff that's available if you don't mind sifting through the trash a bit. It's not ideal, of course, but a hot meal is a hot meal. I know plenty of foxes who've eaten much worse.
Target spotted.
Oh boy. Oro Crony. I don't think I ever heard of that VTuber before. But does this voice actor have they done voice acting for any other characters? It's perfect. A small convenience store, snacks lined up behind the front window. Even better, the shops on either side of it are closed too, so there's not many other people in the area.
Locked, huh? Not surprising.
I head down a nearby alley and find the back door, which is probably where they bring in new products. The alleyway is dark to begin with, and my dark clothes help me hide even better. I glance around the alley, glad like always for my excellent night vision. Nobody's watching. Nobody's even around. I pull my hood up over my ear and tuck my tail between my legs. Leaning against the sturdy door, to anyone not looking closely, I'm sure I appear as nothing more than a shadow. I dig around in my pocket until I find my trusty lockpick, and then set to work on the door. It isn't a complicated lock at all, just a regular keyhole. With a click, and the latch springs open just a few short moments later.
Bingo. Huh?
I try to tuck the door towards me, but there's a chain on the inside that keeps it from opening very wide. There's no way a human could fit through the gap, but it could be easy for a fox. First, I slink away for a bit, idling on the nearby street like a regular pedestrian. I wait to see if anyone shows up just in case I triggered a silent security system. After about 10 minutes, I decide it's safe. I transform under cover of the darkness in the alley and slip into the building before transforming back. The shop isn't very big, and the receiving area is just a small hallway with a few boxes of soda and candy bars on the floor. I grab a couple of my favorites and shove them into my pockets. When I creep into the main area, I make sure to stay low to the ground, trying to avoid being seen from outside. I'm not exactly hidden, but as long as I don't stand up, I shouldn't attract anyone's attention. I move fast, cramming as much into my coat as I can. Cookies, protein bars, popcorn, I'm not very picky. When my coat starts to feel pretty heavy, I grab a plastic bag from behind the counter and transfer some of my loot into there. I also take a few bottles of water and sports drinks from the coolers. Just as I'm about to leave, I spot a few of those Covette plastic wrap sandwiches that I was thinking about earlier.
Jackpot!
I fill my bag with sandwiches until it's almost overflowing, and then I head back out the way I came in. In total, I was in and out in under 5 minutes, and I've got enough supplies to last me several days. When I step into the alley, I glance around in both directions, making sure no one saw me emerge from the store. I don't see anyone, but my neck prickles as if someone is watching me. I sniff the air, but I don't notice anything out of the ordinary, nothing that wasn't there before. Still. Suddenly there's a flap of wings, and a bat flutters past me from out of the shadows. It goes right over my head and disappears from the side up the street.
Oh, that's it?
I let out a breath I've been holding and start making my way back towards the mountains where I made my den. I let the bag swing from my arm as I walk, whistling a song I heard earlier. I'm not able to keep a smile off my face.
All in all, not a bad first day. I've got a nice nest, food to spare, and plenty of places to explore tomorrow.
There's been plenty of days in my life where I had none of those things. I unwrap one of the sandwiches that I grabbed and take a big bite.
Nothing beats the taste of hard work.
I hope Wellington continues to treat me well while I'm here.
So tired. I'm gonna sleep so well tonight.
I unpacked everything that I got from the store, as well as the treasures that I always carry with me. My lockpick, my wallet, a few pretty stones. The only thing I leave in my jacket is a small scroll.
Can't get that damaged or dirty.
I change back into a fox and then dig another hole near the entrance to my den. This one is much simpler and shallower, and I bury some of the snacks that I stole before covering them back up with dirt.
Not like anyone's gonna come by and swipe my things, but better safe than sorry. I stole this myself after all. Don't want it being stolen from me.
Stuff like my pen and my favorite rock go into the burrow with me since I like having them close by. Once I've got everything where it belongs, I climb into the hole myself, turning a few circles before settling down with my tail wrapped around me. From here I have a perfect view of the stars. I look up at the clear night sky through the mouth of the tunnel. I feel bad for all the people way down on the underworld.
Can I even see the stars from there?
I've never been to the underworld, so I have no idea. I can't imagine falling asleep without them. Comfortable and safe, I close my eyes and quickly slip off to dreamland. I wake up to trouble, or at least a threat. Oh. I'm sure it's only morning as I peer out the burrow's entrance, but the sky is already dark and foreboding. My attention moves from the ominous rain clouds above the trees outside my den, their branches shaking in the strong breeze.
I can't believe that girl from the cafe was right.
I climb up the tunnel and out into the open, sniffing the air. It just tells me that I already know a storm is coming in fast. But also, another scent plays on my nose, one so faint that I almost brush it off before taking another smell. Surely I'm not wrong. There's no way that... Lowering my snout to the ground, I investigate the area and then decide that I'm right. I change into my human form and look around.
Someone's been here.
Yes, someone's definitely been here, but the scent isn't a human's. It's vaguely familiar, but at the same time, not like anything I recognize.
And it definitely wasn't here when I went to sleep.
They must have come here in the night and stopped right outside my den.
Were they watching me sleep? Oh crap!
As a fox, I dive back into my hole to make sure everything is still there. My heart pounds in my chest, but nothing appears to be missing. I also checked the spot where I buried my stash from last night, but that hasn't been disturbed either. Uh-oh. A breath of sigh of relief. If any of the stuff had been stolen, I'd be so mad. But that still doesn't answer the question of what they did want, and that's even more concerning. I'm a pretty light sleeper, and usually the slightest sound or motion will wake me up. So if someone was able to sneak up on me, even I have to be impressed. Impressed and a little bit worried. I've got more pressing issues right now, though, and I stare up at the sky in disappointment.
I hate the rain.
She's got a squatter. Oh no. I would squat there. What the heck? I would have found a different place to make my nest and hide my supplies if I'd known this would have happened. Instead, both burrows will probably just be piles of mud by the end of today.
I should have found a place with a roof after all.
I fill my pockets with my most important possessions and some of the food I grabbed last night. Everything else I wrapped as tightly in the plastic bag as I can and bury them in my den. Hopefully I can find somewhere fast and then move everything else over before it gets ruined An abandoned house would be perfect, or some other place that I'd be able to hide. I'm just about to get going when a loud flapping sound overhead catches my attention. I expected it to be a bird, but instead it's yet another bat. This one is even bigger than the one I saw last night. Its wings are way longer and noisier. I can even hear it squeaking something as it flies past. Some people say bats and foxes are similar. I don't see it. I watch it fly around for a little while before it takes off towards the city.
Maybe it knows somewhere to stay. Guess I'll follow it for now.
A couple times it disappears between the trees or just too far ahead, but I always manage to catch back up. Eventually we're out of the woods and back into civilization, where a car whizzes right past me. There's a sidewalk here and other people walking around. Most of them look up to the sky nervously, though, and everyone seems to be in a hurry.
Guess I'm not the only one looking to get away from the rain.
I'm just about to get going when a loud flapping sound overheard catches my attention, except it to be a bird. Wait, why did it replay the last thing? Okay. More people seem to be going to the direction I was headed than anywhere else, so I stick to that. By now, my winged guide is almost out of sight again. Just a little black speck in the sky flying into the distance. Farther up this road, there's a slope that leads into a big, fancy-looking building. It doesn't look like a shop or restaurant, at least. Not one that I've ever seen. But there are so many people going in and out that it has to be open to the public. That's good enough for me. It'll give me somewhere dry to spend some time, and maybe I can learn something useful. Plus, places like this usually have plenty of valuables inside. If I'm lucky, I might be able to find something to fund my next few days. After all, the bigger the target, the less likely they are to notice something missing. I don't know about that, but okay. The sturdy oak door isn't as heavy as it looks, a firm push being enough to heave it open. Gingerly stepping inside and out of the rain, I'm greeted by books. Lots of books. Books on shelves, books on tables, books on the floor, books everywhere. The place even smells of musty old paper, and a dozen or so people inside are mostly leafing through pages in the aisles. The odd silence about the building is striking, given how many are around. It doesn't look like a shop, so I assume this must be a library. I've heard of them, but I've never been in one. No point, since I can't read at all. But it's warm and cozy and very dry, so it'll do just fine. There's a desk near the entrance with a computer on it. I assume that's where I check in. It's unattended, which is good for me. I take a seat in an empty chair nearby and sit back just to observe for a bit. There are plenty of people, but it's not too busy. Lots of empty, unwatched spaces. Most folks seem to be here alone or in small groups that keep to themselves. There's not much conversation going on, and what there is all whispered. Nobody gives me a second glance, which is a good sign. It means I'm probably not breaking any rules just by being here. Behind the desk, there's a hallway leading deeper into the building, and I peek around the corner to see what's back there. All I can see are some shut doors and at the very back, a staircase. After glancing around to make sure no one's watching, I sneak down the hall and try a couple of the doors. All of them are locked. I could probably pick them if I wanted to. No sense trying to do that now, though. Is there anything more valuable around? An antique clock or vase would be perfect. Sadly, it's almost all books. Books and small trinkets that look pretty worthless, not even worth the trouble of stealing. At least it's got a roof. I do spot a couple promising items, like a set of old coins, and memorize their locations. I do spot a couple... Oh, okay. It's repeating again. I wander back to the main area where I came in, outside. It hasn't started raining yet, but it's only a matter of time. The wind is loud and gusty, and even opening the door is enough to make me shiver. If nothing else, I can probably wait out the rain here. But my poor abandoned snacks back at the den. What a waste. Can't do anything about it now, though. I should keep looking around. I move slowly through the area, never going beyond what seems to be the public area. I pretend to inspect a few books, taking them off the shelves and flipping through the pages, but I'm actually mapping out the place in my head. Doors, windows, and potential places to hide, things like that. Most of the time, this kind of info is unnecessary. It's been at least a few decades since I had to make a dramatic escape from anywhere. At this point, plotting an escape route is just a habit. Overall, I like what I'm seeing. Even with the locked doors and off-limit hallways, there are lots of nooks and crannies that would make a good hiding spot, especially as a fox. Hey yo, she's making an escape route? She's gonna steal the treasure? She's a phantom thief. Oh my god, I guess Yusuke got replaced with a real fox though. From the thick dust and coats a lot of these areas, I can tell they don't get a whole lot of visitors. If I'm careful, I might be able to go a whole week or more without being noticed. As long as I can get in and out of the building easily, that is, and with the huge windows that line the back walls, that seems easily enough too. I weave around a couple of shelves that are taller than I am, heading for the far back corner. I peer around the corner of the last aisle just to make sure I'm alone. But I'm not. Oh. At a small table by the window sits a woman with a small book in her hand, resting against her fingers. She's perfectly still, but mouths the words on the pages as she reads, like she's tasting them instead of just seeing them. Her expressions from the distant look of someone way off in their own world, far away from this one. She looks so at peace that I think she must belong in that other world. She's beautiful and elegant in the same way as a painting, with the light from the window shining on her like a display. I duck back behind the bookshelves, pressing one hand to my racing heart. My other bumps against one of the books on the shelf, and it falls with a dusty thump. Oh boy, love at first sight. Oop, oh wait, is that how... Oh. We'll do a save though. Oh, it's a... Does it say log? Okay, save. Save. The reading girl. That's crazy. Return. Wait, so how do I do that? Okay. So I'm clicking the stick. Okay. Okay. Cursing my clumsiness, I silently back away in case she decides to investigate, but she doesn't leave her chair.
It's nothing.
She turns and gazes out the open window at what I don't know. A moment later, she returns to her book and leaves this world again. I stay hidden, my face still burning a little bit. Yes, I think this will be the perfect place to spend some time. Damn, that's crazy. Seems a pretty lady, and it's just like, yep, I'm staying here now. Suddenly, there's a much louder boom than the one I caused as thunder rumbles outside. A few people around the library startle at the sound and look around. Sighing, the girl in the chair pulls the window beside her close, the first drop of rain's falling not a minute later. I'll investigate the windows later. Right now I don't want to bother her, so I'll head back to the one of the plush chairs on the other side of the library and take a seat. I could be here a while, depending on how long the rain lasts, so I may as well get comfy. I find a few books that have more pictures than words and curl up into one of the soft chairs that fit through them. There aren't as many of those ones, and I go through the stack pretty fast. It takes long enough for the rain to start, though. The longer I read, the louder the pounding of the rain and the howling of the wind become. Guess it's not letting up anytime soon. I can't complain though, this library is pretty cozy. By my usual standards, it's warm and safe and nobody tells me to go away. I even have snacks. More than once I get up and walk around the library again, even though I got most of it memorized by now. I take note of things like a child's stuffed toy that's lying on the floor in one section, or the thin blanket that's stuffed between a bookshelf and the wall. On my third or fourth trip around, I finally got something I've been looking for. In one of the far corners, totally opposite from where I was, the reading girl earlier, is a single chair and small table on the wall. Nearby is a portrait. The painting itself is of a girl with light brown hair, but I barely pay any attention to that. What I am interested is in the frame. It's lovely. It looks like it might be made out of gold. It certainly shines like it. It's carved intricately into the shape of waves flowing up and down. It's got to be worth something. I pretend to not pay much attention to it as I make my way back to my table. There are too many other people around for me to be able to try and sneak it out. It's too big to fit under my jacket without being obvious. That just means I'll have to come back some other time, maybe once this place is closed. The hours pass by and the storm continues. I'm kind of disappointed about losing a whole day, especially so soon after arriving, but it's not like I'm in any sort of hurry. I pat one of my pockets, feeling the familiar and reassuring weight of the paper scroll that's tucked away there. That scroll's the only thing close to a purpose that I have, and it's not particularly urgent, or at least I don't have any way to deal with it faster. I spent a long time reading. It's almost afternoon when I go out and check the windows again, but the rough weather outside continues. At this rate, I'll be sleeping in a puddle of mud tonight. Unless... A quick check shows that a lot of the other library patrons have left. It's not empty, but it's not nearly as full as earlier. Guess some of them decided it was worth braving the rain. Looking as nonchalant as I can, I get up from my seat and pretend to browse again, slowly moving through the shelves. The reading girl is gone now, although she's not what I was looking for. Instead, I pick up the dropped toy and blanket that I spotted earlier, and then head to one out of the way hiding spots I picked out before. It's on the floor between a shelf and the wall, but has a bit of carpet to help make it softer. Even better, it's between two corner shelves, meaning that it's practically out of sight if you're not looking for it. I wiggle my way between the furniture and lie down using the toy as a pillow and draping the blanket over me. I toss and turn a few times before finally settling down.
Yep, not bad at all.
Even though I haven't done much today, I'm always down to take a nap. I can pass a few hours by sleeping, wake up once it's dark, and then grab the picture frame and be on my way. I'll have to rebuild my den once I get back, but that's a problem for future me. I yawn, staring up at the ceiling until my eyes get heavy.
Maybe today won't be a total waste after all.
Oh, the soft sound of cloth rustling wakes me from my dreamless sleep. How did someone sneak up on me twice? I don't know how long it's been. The sky outside has darkened significantly, and now stars twinkle outside the window. Oh, there's no time to react as the sound comes closer. I hear no footsteps, but suddenly a woman steps into view. Her clothes are pure white, making her stand out like a ghost in the dark library. Her cape rustles again as she reaches towards one of the shelves. One of the shelves I'm hiding behind, to be precise. Gingerly, she moves two books to the side and then slides another book into the space she created. She handles them like precious treasures that might break if she's too rough. I stay perfectly still, afraid to even breathe in case she notices me. My heart beats wildly as she slowly and deliberately looks over the shelf examining their titles before taking a book from the second lowest row. Through the gap she created in the shelves, our eyes met in darkness. Uh-oh. Oh no. I tense up as she steps around the shelving between us to get a better look at me, preparing myself to leap away if the needed arise. The carefully memorized layout of the library flashes through my mind as I frantically plot the best way to flee. Even as I prepare my escape, I can see her taking in everything about me. The stolen blanket, the makeshift pillow, my generally disheveled appearance. She opens her mouth and I brace myself for the verbal attack that's sure to come.
There.
Oh.
May I ask why you're sleeping on the floor?
It doesn't matter what I say. Just distract her enough to get away.
I don't have anywhere else to sleep.
I thought so.
She leans down and offers me a hand. I took it warily. I don't take it, but I slowly stand, letting the blanket fall to my feet and trying to subtly get in position to run.
I have an extra room on the second floor that you're welcome to borrow, if you'd prefer that. Otherwise, you're more than welcome to remain here, on the ground. I apologize for waking you.
With a smile, an oddly calm woman steps away and busies herself to organizing another row of books. She probably expects me to let my guard down and take her offer. I'm just a stranger, someone who broke into her library. There's no reason for her to treat me kindly. My years of experience, and there are plenty of those, tell me it's a trap.
Thanks, but no thanks. I'll just be going, actually. Sorry to bother you like this.
I hurry past her, shoulders tense as I expect her to grab me or try to stop me. She doesn't, though. The one time I glance back, she's watching me with a strange expression that I don't recognize. When I get outside and away from the library, a breath of sigh of relief.
That was close.
Damn, are all the women desperate? Why was she looking like that, though?
I'm not falling for that one again.
The last time I let someone feel sorry for me and accepted a place to stay, I woke up to them trying to empty my wallet. Oh. I may be a thief, but at least I do it honestly. I wouldn't try to trick someone like that. That wasn't the first time someone tried to fool me and take advantage of me either.
Still, it's a shame to lose such a nice hiding place. Maybe I'll give it a couple of days for that woman to forget about me, and then try again. If she wasn't lying about there being an empty room on the second floor, then maybe I could sneak into there.
Tonight, though, I'm on my own. Shivering, I wrap my coat and tail tightly around myself as I think about what to do next. The rain has stopped, although it's still cold and cloudy. My stomach grumbles since I haven't eaten anything other than snacks all day.
Ugh.
I may as well get it over with and go check on the status of my den.
Well, it could be worse.
It's not as bad as I expected, but which is a pleasant surprise.
What's a little mine? It'll be just fine.
I swapped to my fox form to prod around. The entrance has caved in a little bit, but after I scoop that out, I find the rest of the tunnels and main room are exactly intact. Cold as hell, but intact. Seems the trees protected the den from a lot of the rain. It takes me a while to find the spot where I buried my stash, since the stick I used to mark the spot got washed away. Eventually I locate it. Through and start digging. The cold mud makes my paws dirty and sore, and little flecks cover my fur. After I finally reach the soggy plastic bags, I shake myself clean before opening them as a human. Some water has seeped through, and I open the spoiled items before tossing them away. I'm not too picky, but I have plenty of other snacks to choose from.
Eat up, birdies!
A few of them swoop down to inspect the offering. I scarf down a quick meal of cookies and unwarmed soup, along with some cold water from the stream. At least the water is satisfying. Then, even though I just woke up from a nap not too long ago, I shift back into my fox form to crawl into my den and curl up. I'm sure it'll be a while before I fall asleep, but I don't feel like going back into town. I have enough excitement for one day. This isn't all that bad. Regular foxes without magic powers have it way worse than I do. Although back then, when a fox was all I was, I wouldn't have really cared. To this day, I'm not so sure what it is that makes me different. I used to be just like them. No desire to go beyond the forest or anything. And then one day, I became whatever I am now. All I had was my necklace, a small scroll that I can't read, and the memory of the person who had given it to me. They were so kind to me, that stranger in the forest. They wished me well, even though I was just an ordinary fox. Somehow that didn't seem to matter to them. I never even knew their name, just their face and their voice. But I know that I'll recognize them when I see them again. It's just a matter of finding them. So since then, I've been looking and surviving. Looking for them is what keeps me going. It's enough to live for. If I wasn't, I don't know what else I'd be doing. Damn. I guess I'll just be surviving. But if that was the only thing, I think I'd rather have just stayed a fox. It's the morning. Standing outside my den in human form, I take stock of how things stand. The sun thankfully out this morning, but everything remains damp from the ground to the muggy air itself. The chill on the breeze is the worst, making me shiver every time it hits me. The Bell House was pleasant when I visited a couple of days ago, so I decided to head down towards the main street and get a coffee there while working out my next moves. Coming to the door of the cafe, I pause and wipe my feet on the mat outside. The human fascination with surrounding themselves in concrete makes a little more sense as I work the mud off my feet. With that, I finally head inside, only to stop in my tracks as the door shuts behind me. Standing behind the counter is the same girl who I saw reading in the library yesterday, talking with a customer as she takes their order. That gentle aura about her is unmistakable. The person in front of me finishes their order and I step up to the counter.
Good morning. Welcome to the Bell House. What can I make for you today?
Oh, hi. I'll
A vanilla latte? No, that's boring.
what do you recommend? I want to try something new.
I'm glad you asked. I was just thinking that you look like the sort of person who would enjoy one of our Fairy Kiss chillers. It's one of our signature drinks, with a vanilla gelato base and a mint chocolate chip swirl.
I was planning to get something warm, but that does sound pretty good.
Okay, give me one of those then.
Perfect. And could I get your name, please?
It's Miho.
She scribbles something onto a cup and finishes it with a big
I'll
flourish.
have that right out for you.
Thanks.
I play, bro. No. I pay and then go take the same seat as before, next to one of the windows. It's pretty empty in here again, so I can sit wherever I want. Before the barista starts making my drink, I spot her writing something else down in a little notebook. She glances my way once or twice while she does, but I pretend not to notice. I wonder what it is. The barista yesterday didn't write anything down. Anyway, I got more important things on my mind. I'm all over to the plan which formed as I walked over here, becoming increasingly happy with it. Tonight, I've already decided I'm going to sneak back into that library. Between that picture frame and some of the other trinkets I saw, I should be able to pilfer enough to fund my next few days in Wellington. Finding somewhere to sell it should be the easy part. I've got a dozen excuses that I can recite about where the items came from. Dead grandma, spring cleaning, new renovations. Sometimes I try extra hard and pretend that things I'm selling are really special to me and earn a little bit more cash that way. Sometimes just take whatever they gave me. After years of watching humans do it, trying it out myself, I've gotten good at pawning items off. I find myself idly watching the barista make my drink. While I do, I practice a disarming smile. All her movements are quick and practiced, but she has that same faraway look in her eyes that I noticed yesterday. She looked up and our eyes met. I don't look away, and she turns pink before ducking away behind the machine out of sight. Damn.
Huh. Weird girl.
I turn my head around to look at around the cafe. As a butterfly outside catches my attention, so I watch that instead. It flutters back and forth, landing on a flower and resting its wings. Oh, my coffee's ready. I quickly get up and skip over to the counter. Cup in hand, she starts to head over to give it to me. But then, several things happen at once. One of the little tassels on the pocket of her apron catches on one of the drawers behind the counter, and she jerks to a stop, eyes wide with a surprise. And my drink tumbles out of her hand, landing on the counter with a wet gloop sound as the ice cream splats against it, sending mint green rivers of coffee everywhere. A few seconds pass where we were just looking at each other, neither of us quite sure what to do, and then she takes a deep breath.
I am so sorry. I'll make you a replacement right away. Just give me 1 second and I'll have that ready for you.
Her words spill out faster than the beverage, making it hard to even understand what she's saying. Her face is bright red as she spins her back around and grabs another empty cup. Then she stops, hands hovering awkwardly.
Wait, I should clean this up before it dries and starts to go bad.
Oh god. She hurries back to the mess, wiping at it with some napkins. She mops up as much of it as she can with one hand, then leaves the soggy paper on the counter while she starts to remake my drink.
I'm really sorry. This is such an embarrassment. I
don't even know if she's talking to me or to herself. I freeze up for a second, looking for an appropriate response to an apology. I'm not used to people apologizing to me.
Oh, it's fine. I'm not in a hurry.
Instead, I just sit back down at one of the tables and watch. She makes a drink twice as fast and then carries it very slowly to the counter, setting it down in a clean spot. This time she takes a deep breath before speaking, like she's afraid she's going to mess that up too.
All right. Here's your drink. Again, I'm very sorry.
Oh.
It's your first time here, isn't it? I hope it doesn't leave a bad impression.
Second, actually. Yesterday was the first time. How'd you know?
But you weren't here yesterday. You were at the library yesterday. Silly.
I make an effort to remember as many of our customers as I can, as well as their favorite orders. I believe you can learn a lot about a person from how they drink their coffee.
Well, that's too bad for her because she won't remember me at all next time. I take a big sip of the drink she made for me. It's creamy and rich and sweet all at the same time.
Whoa, this is really good. It's kind of like a milkshake, but not. But it's not like coffee either.
Yes, exactly. I'm very glad that you like it. It's one of my favorite beverages that we serve. In fact, the recipe was my idea.
Whoa! They should put you in charge of all the recipes.
She smiles again. Seems like she's gotten over the crisis of the spilled drink already.
Thank you. I'll make you another one of my favorites next time, if you'd like.
Totally.
At least I know what to order next time, even though I'll have been forgotten. I'm already thinking of this place as my go-to coffee shop, especially since it's in a convenient area. With tasty drinks and cute baristas, I don't have a reason to go anywhere else. A knocking sound from the employee area gets both our
Hey, Aspen,
attention.
you set another batch of croissants?
Oh, sure. I'll be right there.
She goes back over her shoulder and then looks back at me briefly.
Have a nice day, Miho.
Excuse me.
You too.
With a wave, she gathers the trash from the cleanup and throws that away before disappearing into the back. So her name is Aspen. That's a pretty name. I'll have to try and remember that. Getting up from my seat, I decide to head back outside for some fresh air, sipping my Fairy Kiss chiller as I go. I head out to the door and onto the increasingly busy main street. I already know my plans for tonight, but I still got some time to kill before then. What should I do? Oh, we could choose now. Oriental Bay or Mount Victoria. Oh. Huh. Wait, how do we... Okay. So we can't go to the bay. Okay, well no. So, we could choose. Cuba Street Library, Mount Victoria, Oriental Bay. It shows that there's like 2 options. I'm gonna do a quick save. Hello? Let me log. Save. Yes. Oh, okay. I guess like a quick save is just in that moment. I guess we'll go to the Oriental Bay. Oh wait, we could go to Cuba Street. But there's nothing right there. So I guess we'll go to Oriental Bay then. It's not far from when I am to the beach, so I decided to head down there. Passing through the city streets, I recognized some of this area from my first day here when I was running from the Skyport guard.
Glad that guard chased me in this direction, or I'd have never found the Bell House.
In relief, that's been the highlight of Wellington so far. When I get down to the beach, I take a moment to enjoy the salty sea air. From this level, it's impossible to tell where the ocean ends and where the open sky begins. I can see Skyport from where I am and a few older ships anchored in the harbor close by. While admiring the view, a worried-looking lady comes up and waves for my attention.
Hi, I'm looking for my son. He's about this tall and wearing a red sweater. His name's Tommy. Have you seen him?
Nope. I haven't seen anyone like that. I just got here.
Okay, thanks.
She walks away in a hurry, looking right and left as she goes ask someone else.
Humans sure do have it rough.
Since they can't smell or even hear most things, it's a wonder they don't get lost more often. I amble along the waterfront, watching all the people as I go. Like Cuba Street, there's a lot going on. Under a nearby bridge, a group of 3 mermaids are racing each other. Close to the bridge are a bunch of people fishing, with a stressed-looking guy running back and forth between them. Next to a boarded-out market stall and some big crates, I notice something weird. What the heck is that? Excuse me. There's a Fabled with a big flower on its head that spins like a propeller. They're using it to drift in small circles above something near the crates. I have to check it out, of course. Nobody else pays any attention. I wander over and take a look. The Fable stops spinning as I approach and gives me a helpless look, but doesn't say anything. It's kinda cute, but like, it looks like you could grab it by the head and just like eat it like a radish. On the other side of the crates, out of sight from the path, there was a little boy sitting on the ground with his back to one of the wooden boxes.
Are you Tommy?
The kid jumps, totally surprised. Oops, he scrambles up and looks at me with wide eyes.
How'd you know?
I thought he was supposed to be wearing a red sweater. That doesn't look red.
Your mom's looking for you. She seemed pretty worried.
His expression goes from surprise to sullen real quick.
I don't care. I don't want to go with her. Why not? Why are you over here instead? 'Cause I'm hiding. Oh. Okay.
It's a pretty crummy hiding spot. I mean, it's totally open on 3 sides. I don't say that though. Instead, I look up at the Fable floating overhead. It looks almost as glum as Tommy.
Who's that? That's Jerby! You mean you can see him? I can. Is that weird? Mom and Dad can't see him. They think I'm just making him up. He doesn't talk, but he's real.
Jerby waves from up high.
Kinda gave away your hiding spot. I saw him from the road. Mom can't see him, and that's all that matters. Why are you hiding from her? 'Cause
Tommy sits back down and scratches at the dirt with a rock. Guess he doesn't want to talk about it. It's always glad to end a conversation. That's me.
good luck.
I start to walk away. He doesn't seem like he's in any danger, and I don't want to get blamed for him hiding in the first place.
Wait a minute.
You know what he kind of looks like? He looks like a young version of the Honkai Star Rail male character of the fuck, what are they called? Just the main character. I turn around. He's already standing up again.
Are you gonna go tell her where I am?
Before I can answer, his eyes get huge again.
Tommy, there you are.
I have to turn around again. This time it's the woman from before. She's already flying past me over to Tommy.
Are you okay? What were you doing? Don't you ever run off like that again. Oh, just glad you're safe though.
Her voice goes up and down between relieved and angry. She has Tommy in a tight hug, but he's just staring forward grumpily. Jerby is flying in distress circles again. Finally, the lady turns to
You
me.
found him, right? Thank you so much. I was so worried.
No problem.
I didn't really do anything. I did find him, but so did she. Guess she's not thinking about it much.
Come on, Tommy, let's go home. We'll talk about this there.
No, I'm not going. That's not home.
Damn. My ears flinch as he yells. He stamps his foot into the ground to make his point.
Tommy, sweetie.
Home is where it's you, me, and Dad. Not that apartment.
Damn. Not the. Is this a divorcee situation?
It's still your home second home now. No, it isn't! Not without you, it's not!
Oh, okay, damn. So it's the mom that's leaving. Oh no.
You and Dad really have to get it.
Tommy, who was already sniffling, can't keep from breaking down and crying as he throws his arms around his mom and hugs her back.
I don't want you to go!
Damn. I get the impression that I should probably leave. Normally I'm happy to be nosy and listen in on things, but right now it seems kind of awkward. Neither of the humans notice me leave, but Jerby and the Fable sadly waves goodbye as I head off. I wonder what makes him stick around. I've never seen a Fabled like him before. Not being able to be seen by certain people sure sounds useful though. I don't have to go far before the sounds of Tommy and his mom talking are drowned out by the noise of the waterfront. I easily fit into the crowd of people miling about. Being able to live a life that no one notices is close enough to being invisible. I'm pretty lucky that I don't ever have to have those kinds of tearful conversations or panic about someone missing. No, being part of the crowds is just perfect for me. I stand at the concrete and admire the ocean until I've had my fill, and then I start wandering again. Okay, now we could go to Mount Victoria. I have plenty of time to kill and also plenty of restless energy. I decide to go up for a walk up Mount Victoria just to give myself something to do. I take the long way up this time instead of taking a bunch of shortcuts like usual. It winds through neighborhoods and then back out again, with only the occasional car passing by on the street. Compared to some of the other cities I've been in lately, the air here is a lot cleaner, and the smell of nature shines through. It can't compare to being out in the wild for real, of course, but it's nice not to be choking on exhaust fumes everywhere I go. The houses are weird though. Many of them sit up on tall legs like giant bugs with windows for eyes. More people seem to be coming down from the mountains than going up on it. Lots of them zip past on bikes and or skateboards, while others are jogging or just walking.
This path is longer than I thought.
About halfway up or so, there's a wooden bench just off the sidewalk. It's occupied by a man with dark hair and big sunglasses. As I'm about to pass by, he waves.
Oh, hello, miss. Nice evening for a walk, eh?
Huh? Is he talking to me? He must be, because no one else is nearby. Chatting usually is not my thing, but for the moment I appreciate the distraction.
It sure is! I'm glad the rain's gone.
Oh, for now, yeah. It's never gone for long, though, is it?
That's so. I'm new here. I didn't even think it would rain since it was so sunny the day before.
Ho ho ho! You've gotta watch out for that around here. Mother Nature's real fickle these days. 1 minute you're on the pier, enjoying the sunshine. Next minute,
Oh. I accidentally cut that off, my bad. He makes a whoosh sound with his breath and a wavy motion with his hand.
storm clouds as far as the eye can see. That's just welly for you, though. You live with the sunshine and the clouds. Where are you from, then? Guessing you're not a Kiwi?
You're not a kiwi. You're not the fruit, right?
Nah, I'm a fox, not a bird.
The man laughs, a deep belly laugh like usual. I'm not sure what I said that was funny.
Not like that. Although those little guys are cute. A Kiwi is a word for us New Zealanders in general.
So it's a bird, a fruit, and people.
You've got it. All three are delightful. Anyway, welcome to Wellington. I hope you're enjoying your time here in our little city.
So far I am. I made my den here on the mountain. I've gotten coffee a few times, and I went to the library.
I conveniently leave out my plans for the next time I'm in the library.
Well, I can't say that's the usual tourist experience, but I'm happy to hear that it's working out for you. Staying long?
Probably. I decided to come live here, but I'm still getting to know the place. So, maybe I'll change my mind.
A true free spirit, eh? I felt the same way when I first got here, long time ago. Didn't think I'd settle down for life, but here I am now. Lived more years here than everywhere else in my life.
It can't be that long. You don't look very old for a human.
Damn.
No? Well, that's my ego boost for the day. You don't look very old for a fox either, but I imagine you've got a good head start on me.
That's true. I don't really keep track or think about it, though.
He laughs again.
Can't say I blame you there. I think 100 years, give or take a little on either side, is enough for me.
Damn.
And I'm only halfway there, so I've got plenty more to look forward to.
He stands up, but has to do it slowly.
And sometimes I'm reminded of how many I've got under my belt already. Thank you for the chat, miss. I better get back to the water now and make sure Young Min hasn't fallen into the ocean or anything.
Damn.
It's been a real pleasure talking with you, though. I hope you'll give our fair town a shot.
Thanks. It was nice talking to you, too.
And I mean that for once. He waves goodbye as he heads down some stone steps, and I keep heading upwards. I've never really thought about my age compared to a human's. Humans don't matter to my lifestyle. I wasn't lying when I said I don't know how old I am. It's never been important. Excuse me. Places, relationships, memories, they just tie people down. I want to be everywhere. When I reach the top of the mountain, I take a deep breath of the crisp air. Winds blow my hair in every direction, and I can't keep it out of my face. The wind is wild and goes where it wants. It doesn't answer to anyone. That's how I've lived my life too. A free spirit, that's what the man called me, and I like the sound of it. I can see the smudges of a few people down by the beach and on the pier. Is one of them the man I just met? There's no way to know. From up here, they're just tiny little blips, impossible to tell apart from each other. Once I've had my fill of the view, it's time to get on my way again. I turn my back on the people and start making my way down once more. Alright. Oh, we could go to the library now. When the moon is high in the sky, I decide it's time. This is the perfect kind of night for me. There's not much wind, meaning I'll be able to hear or smell anyone approaching. It's a little cloudy too, which gives me some cover for the moonlight. I make my way back up to the library. Stopping as soon as I'm within sight of it, I find a shadowy place to hide and watch the front for a few minutes. Like I hoped, nobody goes in or out. All the windows are dark too. I slowly creep up towards the entrance, ready to transform and flee if I have to. Nothing happens. No one tries to stop me. I peek into one of the windows. It's dark inside and I can't see anyone at all. Perfect. I move around to the backside of the building and check those windows too. Same thing. It's dark and empty.
This is gonna be too easy.
Back at the front door, I pick the lock and slip inside. I sneak from room to room, revisiting the items I memorized yesterday. They're not expensive or fancy enough to think of them as treasures. I end up leaving a lot of them alone since I don't want to carry too much with me. The rest go into my coat pockets. Finally, I end up back at the painting in the corner, the piece that started this whole plan. I have to set a couple things down on the floor because the painting needs both hands for me to lift. It's heavier than it looks, though it's not very big. That's probably a good sign for how much it'll be worth. I have to jiggle it a couple of times to get it off the hook, but I manage. Tucking the painting under one arm, I picked up the other goods from the floor. This should be enough for one night. Best to get in and out quick. I start to head back to the front door where I came in. Before I get there, the lights flood the room. My heart starts to race as I immediately prepare to run. A quick glance over my shoulder shows the woman from last night standing at the top of the stairs. Her eyes are glowing blue with anger. She takes a step forward, not seeming to touch the stairs.
Leave that painting alone.
I've got to get out of here, now. Throwing caution to the wind, I clutch my spills tight and charge for the door, trying to make myself as small a target as possible. The painting is too big for me to transform and still hold onto it, so I've got to do this on two legs.
Stop, please.
I don't stop. Just like my arrival here with the guards at the skyport, the thrill of being chased has already taken over. It's exciting and scary at the same time, but either way, it spurs me to move faster. Using my shoulder, I crash out the front door and into the night. I run as quickly as I can, keeping an eye out for patches of slick mud or puddles of water. The path I take goes far past Mount Victoria and my den, ending up in a small residential area. I stash the painting under a parked car and then take my fox form and crawl under a house, upsetting a mean gray cat who was already hiding there. It makes a low growling sound and I glare at it, desperately willing it to be silent before it gives away my position. I growl back as best as I can, and that seems to scare it into shutting up. I'm not sure if I was being followed or not, but I don't want to take any chances. After 10 minutes or so, I climb out, pick up my loot, and sneak back towards my den. Now that the excitement has worn off, I just can't keep a smile off my face. There's nothing more satisfying than pulling off a heist, even known as easy as this. Other thieves I've heard about must have had it rough, having to stake out a place for a long time, trying really hard to not get caught, and making sure not to be seen. I've never done much planning, I just do whatever feels right. My ability to transform makes it pretty hard to catch me, although I have had to leave behind the stuff I was taking once or twice. And honestly, it would get boring if I never got caught and had to run. My good mood lasts me all the way home and then disappears completely when I see who's waiting for me. Oh. The woman in white. She stands just outside my den, looking like she doesn't care at all about the cold or the mud. In fact, her perfect clothes don't seem to get dirty at all. With her back turned to me, she's staring at the moon, but she faces me as I approach. She has that same calm presence as when I first saw her, but I can see a mournful look in her eyes, which have gone back to brown instead of a furious blue. My heart quickens almost suffocatingly. As she watches me intently, I know how quickly calm can turn into anger. I should run, but I can't look away.
How did you find me here? Before I even got back?
A friend of mine told me you might be found here.
Her voice is soft and warm, unlike the way she shouted back at the library.
A friend.
But who? I wasn't followed, I'm sure of that much. With the shock of being found wearing off the realization I'll need to find a new place to stay sets in, after all the work too.
I apologize for showing up uninvited. I'm here to ask that you please return that painting to me. You may keep the frame if you'd like, but the painting itself is very dear to me.
I looked down at the portrait. I've been carrying it for a while now, but I haven't given the picture itself much thought. It's a beautiful painting, and clearly very old. The girl shown in it is wearing a long flowing dress, looking down with a small smile.
And also...
She breathes out slowly, and my eyes narrow. It's the sound people make when they're acting calm, but they're angry.
Should you want it, I have an extra room available in my library, with a soft bed and a warm meal. You may stay as long as you wish.
Huh?
After I just tried to rob her, she's offering me a place to stay. Okay, now I know this must be a trap. There's no way. Although, it's the same thing she asked me last night before I broke in. I'm sure she doesn't remember that.
Why?
Because I have more beds than I could possibly fill and more food than I could eat. If there is someone who wants or needs them, is it not appropriate to share these with them?
Is it?
I'm not sure what answer she wants to hear. She looks at me again, the same expression as it was at the library. Well, her offer does sound kind of tempting.
I guess it's not like my place is as nice as yours.
Not anymore, at least. Not after it rained and made half of it mud. I looked down at the painting again. If I sold it, it was just going to be so I could buy the same things she's offering me. I still don't trust her. I've watched people enough to know better than that. There must be something she wants. But I don't think she wants to hurt me. She knows I don't have anything worth stealing. If she did try to pull something, I could just run away. It's only one night. I could come back and try again, or find some place else to take from. I look down to the burrow past where she's standing. It looks less like a den and more a pile of mud. The thought of sleeping there again practically makes the decision for me.
Fine, I'll take it.
She breathes out slowly again and smiles. Maybe that sound doesn't mean she's angry.
Wonderful. I'm glad to hear it.
She kind of sounds like Garnet, if, like, you know, in just some more calm matters.
I should introduce myself properly. My name is Juliet. May I ask what yours is?
Okay, never mind.
Miho.
I've had to introduce myself twice in a day now. That has to be a new record.
Well, Miho, it's a pleasure to make your acquaintance. Let's return to the library. I can carry the painting if you'd like, or you may hold on to it until we get there.
I shrug.
Here, feel free.
She receives it very gently, and I quickly fall in beside her as we begin to walk back. To my relief, she doesn't try to make any conversation. Instead, she silently cradles the painting as we go. When we get back to the library, the lights are off and the door is still unlocked. After setting the painting down on the desk, Juliet gestures towards the stairs.
It's on the second floor.
I follow her lead again until she stops at one of the closed doors. She unlocks it and lets me in. The room is simple and cozy, with a couple dressers, a table, and a bed. Over the bed, there's a boxy window with a wide sill, big enough to sit on. On the table, there's a cheesecake. There's a cheese sandwich and a few apple slices. plus some sort of cake. There's also a pitcher of water.
I hope the food is to your liking. 2 rooms down the hall from here, you'll find a refrigerator, and you may help yourself to anything in there. My study is just past that. If you need anything, don't hesitate to come find me. Is there anything more I can bring for you?
I shake my head, still in disbelief. What am I even supposed to say in a situation like this? I just stole from her, and now I have both a bed and food in return. As if to my answer my confusion, she gives a calm smile. It doesn't help.
Then I'll leave you to it. We can speak again in the morning. Good night, Miho.
The door shuts behind her, and I expect to hear Juliet lock it, but when I try the knob after giving her a few moments, the door opens quietly into the dark hall. Juliet's nowhere to be seen. I pull the door back shut behind me and inspect the room, looking for any hidden threats. I also check the food, sniffing it to make sure there's no poison or anything. If there is, I can't smell it, and so I dig in instead.
Whoa. This is really good.
There's 3 different kinds of cheese in the sandwich, which is 2 more kinds than I knew existed. The bread is soft and buttery, and when I take a bite of the apple, juice rolls down my chin. The water that I wash it down with tastes better than the water from the stream by my den. When I'm done eating, I climb into bed, still feeling overwhelmed, more specifically, not knowing how to feel. Part of me fears that I've made some gigantic mistake, and that I'll wake up in danger, if I ever wake up at all. Trusting my instincts has kept me alive on multiple occasions, and for hundreds of years, even though I've lost count of exactly how many. But something tells me I don't have anything to fear from the woman who I can only assume is my host and the owner of this place. So with that in mind, I pull the blankets up to my chin and adjust the luxurious pillow beneath my head. Who knows, maybe the morning will bring trouble with it. But right now, just sleep sounds alright. I wake up to the sound of birds chirping loudly outside. Blinking wearily, I prop myself up and look towards the warm sunlight beaming through the window. The sheets under my hand feel soft and dry. My hand goes to my neck, taking in the smooth familiarity of my necklace.
Still here.
If someone was going to rob me, that's the only thing I have that would seem valuable. I sit up and look around. It doesn't look like anyone came in while I was asleep. Maybe I really am safe here. I wonder if Juliet's friend was the scent I noticed outside my den on the first morning. I don't know who else she could have found me. Or how did they do it without waking me out? If it happened before, it could happen again, as much as I hate to admit it, so I check around the room very thoroughly, but still don't notice anything different from when I went to bed.
Maybe it's not a trick.
All my past experiences have told me that there has to be a catch. Nothing is free. Nothing. But no matter how hard I try, I can't figure out what it could be. Could Juliet really have been telling the truth? It just seems so unlikely. It'd be nice if it was true. But if it wasn't, if I let myself believe only to be wrong in the end, then that would hurt me even more, wouldn't it? No, better to not even take the risk. After all, I've lived a lot of years this way, and it's not like I hate it. Making my mind up helps me feel better right away too. It just makes more sense. Even if I tried to stay, I don't think I'd ever stop worrying this way. I'll know for sure I'm in charge of my own destiny. Now that I know this room is unoccupied, I might be able to sneak back in sometimes when I need a place to stay. It wouldn't be too hard to climb on one of the trees and then get to the window from here. I take one last look around just for a night. It was a nice what if. Then I head downstairs and out the door, without speaking a word to anyone. It's another nice day, the same as when I first arrived in Wellington. Warm sun and blue skies, with just a hint of clouds. For a while, I meandered around town, eating the last of my pastries from the convenience store hall for breakfast. Today feels like another restart. I have no den, no supplies, no anything. It's less exciting now than it was when I first arrived. I don't have a destination in mind, but eventually end up at the waterfront. There's an airship over the bay, descending closer towards the skyport. A couple kids down on the beach wave up at it, seeming excited. The people arriving on the ship all have somewhere that they're planning to go when they get off, huh? They're all got people waiting to see them. What have I got? Some trash and an old scroll so far? Wellington's giving me nothing but questions. That never bothered me before in any of the other cities I've been to, so why now? Guess that's another question for the pile. I push myself off the railing and head back into town. I go through the motions of scouting for somewhere to rebuild my den, but my heart really isn't in it. After wandering for a while, I end up at the Bauhaus yet again. It's just the place I go when I have nowhere else to go. There are more customers than usual, so there are 2 people working behind the counter. It only takes a brief glance to notice that one of them is Aspen. Aspen. I wonder if she'll think I'd like a fairy kiss chiller again, or maybe I'll make a different sort of impression today. The line moves pretty quickly. It helps that Aspen doesn't spill anything this time. When it's my turn to order, I step up to the counter with a fake smile.
Hello! What can I make for you today?
I'll have a fairy kiss chiller, please.
Certainly. Good choice.
I reach for my wallet to pay, but she stops me.
Oh, don't worry about that. It's on the house today.
Great! What does that mean?
It means that you don't have to pay for it. As an apology for yesterday.
Yesterday? Why does that sound so strange? I nearly missed her talking my mind, having tripped over the word. She reached for a cup and the pen already in her hand.
And that's for Miho, right?
For Miho?
My name? She remembers my name. My heart begins to race wildly, my body reacting just as strongly as my mind. Aspen frowns, clearly noticing that something's off. My head's in too much of a daze to deal with it, though.
It is Miho, right?
She checks the notebook on the counter, brow furrowing deeply as her finger slowly moves down the pages and taps on one of the lines. What do I say? How do I explain? That's the first time in my life, for the first time in hundreds of years, somebody's remembered my name. It's not supposed to be like this. I'm supposed to be forgotten. Every time, without fail. It's my armor. It's my life. I take a step backwards. I have to run. I have to get out of here. I have to get away. But where to? I've just been running. And I don't have anywhere else to run to. But I don't have any other choice. Without a plan or destination, I turn on my heel and bolt outside, not daring to look back. Everything is wrong. I have to go. She calls my name again and I disappear into the street. It's not the first time I've heard that as I fled. But never like this. Never with such a confused, worried tone. Feeling sick to my stomach, I push myself to run even faster. Maybe I should just leave this whole city, get on the next airship out of here and act like it never happened. I could go somewhere else, back to China, or America, or anywhere, and start over again. Within days, it'd be like I never even came to Wellington. My life would go back to normal, and eventually I'm sure Aspen and Juliet would forget me, just like they're supposed to. Nothing would be different. Except that's not quite true. I wouldn't forget what happened here, even if everyone else did. No matter what, I'm sure I won't ever be able to get these past few days out of my mind. When I get to Mount Victoria, I finally stop running, not because this place is special or because I wanted to come here, but because I don't know where else to go. I make my way up the top of the mountain just like I did on my first day. The view which I admired so much last time doesn't do much for me now. Instead, the city looks cluttered and confused from up here. My chest hurts from running so long. I'm much more used to quick bursts of sprinting to get away from something or someone. I guess that's still what I'm trying to do right now. But I'm not too sure what it is that I'm running from. Whenever something goes wrong, my first instinct is to flee. Aspen remembering me definitely counts as something wrong, but when I stop to think about why, some of the reasons are obvious. Mostly, what if it's not just Aspen? What if everybody can remember me now? Or even worse, what if people who forgot about me a long time ago start to remember me? Both could get me in a lot of trouble. My days as a thief would probably be over. There are some places where I could never show my face again. The smart thing to do is to leave. I can even see a couple airships at the skyport right now. I have everything with me. I could just go. There's nothing keeping me here. I make my way up to the top of the mountain just like I did on my first day. And yet, I don't move. I still don't even know what it is I'd be running away from. From Aspen? From Ellington? When I think about it, I had to admit that running wouldn't get me anywhere. This worry, these questions, would follow me wherever I go, no matter how far and no matter how long. So then what do I do? The only answer I can think of is the scariest one, the one that goes against everything I've ever learned. Closing my eyes, I picture the library and Juliet's offer. A picture Aspen, whom I barely know, but who's already changed my life. Maybe I should stay and try to find out more. Maybe, just maybe, being remembered might not be all bad. I clench my fist so tightly, my knuckles turn white. The urge to turn tail and head for the skyport is so strong, it's almost like a magnet pulling me there. I resist it though. Slowly I walk down the mountain, moving my way to the library. I'm not sure what to say when I get there, explain everything to Juliet, and hope she'll let me stay in that room again. I don't even need the room. I could rebuild my den and hide out there, maybe in a new spot, one that Juliet doesn't know about. Not having to worry about the weather or the other animals would be nice though. There's no telling if Juliet will remember me too. If not, it might be easier to pretend this is my first time visiting and just ask if there's anywhere I could stay. Even though I'm not moving very fast, I still don't feel ready for this conversation by the time I reach the library's entrance. It's only been an hour or so since I left the Bauhaus, so it's not late enough for the library to be closed. The usual stream of people flows in and out the doors.
Okay, I can do this.
I stand off to the side of the entrance, preparing myself as people pass to and fro. My heart is racing the same way it does during a tense break-in, maybe even harder. My tail twitches back and forth. Usually I don't notice, but right now I'm super aware of everything about myself. Fighting off my instincts, I open the door and let myself inside. I've been expecting to have to look for Juliet, but instead she's right by the entrance. What surprises me most, however, is the woman leaning against the large desk beside her, Aspen, who's now engaged in conversation with a look of deep concern on her face.
I wasn't there when I checked the bedroom. I wish she would have spoken to me first, at least.
I barely catch the end of Juliet's sentence. She notices me only moments after I spot her, and for a second her mouth forms a perfect O of surprise.
Juliet? What are you...
Aspen turns around to follow Juliet's gaze, her eyes opening wide at the sight of me.
Miho!
My brain goes blank, rehearsed lines flying out of my head.
Hey there.
I slink over to where they are standing, hands in my pockets, unsure what I should say first.
It's nice to see you again, Miho. I was hoping that you'd return.
Me too. That was pretty sudden. I worked extra hard on that drink for you, you know.
I freeze up, looking for the words. Aspen's expression softens in concern.
Alright, the drink. I'm sorry.
Well, I ended up drinking it myself, so I suppose I can't complain too much.
She laughs, and I can't stop myself from blurting out my next words.
You seem different.
I'm sorry?
Like, less polite?
Well, I'm not at work anymore, am I?
What am I even saying? What was I planning on saying again?
Will you be staying for a while, Miho? If so, we can continue this conversation in the dining room. It's a bit more private there.
Juliet takes charge of the conversation effortlessly, and I accidentally sigh in relief.
Yeah, sure. That sounds great. I'm not gonna run away again.
I'm glad to hear that. Right this way, then.
Juliet leads the way down the hall and into one of the locked rooms. We enter a cozy little room with a table and a few chairs, as well as the fridge. The three of us sit down, although I move my chair so I'm not so close to the
Can
others.
I get you anything to eat or drink, Miho?
Excuse me. I shake my head. I'm hungry, but I'm way too nervous to eat. Juliet smiles in response to my answer, which came just a little too quickly to sound unnatural. By the way, both she and Aspen are looking at me. I can tell they're expecting me to say something first. None of the words that I planned are coming back to me. What do people even say in a situation like this? The temptation to run away is overwhelming. The door just a few feet behind me. My knuckles whiten as I tightly clench my fist in my lap, pushing myself to resist the urge. I told myself that I'm going to take this chance. Even if it's the hardest thing I've ever done. I'm going to be honest with them.
Well...
I struggle to think of what to say. Juliet waits patiently, her eyes gazing coolly in my direction more than directly at mine. Aspen soon grows restless, however, her expression clouded with concern.
Sorry. I don't know how to just say things. I've only ever copied other people's, so I...
Aspen's expression clears up in some sort of understanding.
It's okay, Miho. Take your time.
So I... don't really know how to... talk like this.
You're doing just fine.
If you say so. It's not just talking either. I don't know much about anything. Well, anything human. All I really know about is being a fox. And all we foxes care about is how to survive. It might be hard to believe, but I'm not a normal fox either. There's something kinda special about me. Kinda different.
I finger the beads around my neck. Their constant warmth and presence is reassuring. I avoid looking at either Aspen or Juliet's face. What else?
Usually, I have to steal to get by. I don't just have to, I like to. I'm good at it too. That's
how I ended up meeting Juliet.
The way she sounded so excited. I like to steal.
And the reason I'm so good at it is because I don't know why it happens, but ever since I got my human form, everyone forgets me. Even the people who catch me stealing from them. After a day or two, I can walk right past their face and they wouldn't even recognize me. No one has ever recognized me. Until Aspen remembered who I was at the Bell House. It was such a shock that I ran away. That's what I always do. I was thinking about leaving Wellington forever, even though I just arrived a couple days ago. I'm still kind of tempted, but instead, I came back here. And that's it.
Just hearing the words coming out of my mouth makes me want to die of embarrassment. It makes me uncomfortable when other people think about me. And yet, putting everything out there feels surprisingly good. It feels like a weight has come off my shoulders. There's no going back. Now that's a relief in its own way.
So you're saying that you've never ever had a family? Or a friend?
Nope, never. And not since I stopped being a regular fox, at least.
Oh. I'm so sorry to hear that.
Why?
Well, because that's... not to be rude, but that sounds rather lonely to me.
Lonely, huh? I've never thought about it before.
I see.
Aspen sits back, still looking concerned. From the way she keeps fidgeting, I get the impression she wants to say more, but is holding back. Juliet swoops in to salvage the situation.
You have been very brave to stay here, Miho. I'm personally glad that you decided to come back to the library. I had your room prepared in hopes that you would. You're welcome to use it for as long as you'd like. I think that we could become great friends.
Friends.
I roll the word around in my mind as if we're a strange food I'm gingerly trying. Is that the word that fits me? Is that something I could have? It's never seemed like a possibility before. None of what Juliet's offered me has. Right now it feels like I'm standing at the end of one path and the beginning of another. I could turn around and go back the way I came, back to the den and a life spent alone. I know that world. I've lived it for so many years. But I can't just go back. Not now. Not when there can be something more, something new. Everything could be different if I just let it. When I look at Aspen and Juliet, I can tell what they're hoping I'll say.
I think I'd like that.
Big smiles take over both their faces. Sadly, I let myself smile too.
Well then, Miho. Welcome home.
Please be happy. Chapter 2. A Life Worth Living. Well, that's kind of cute. Up, I got achievement. A Life Worth Living. Begin Chapter 2. Oh boy. Let's say first. Where's the log? Oh, that. For the second day in a row, I wake up in a soft bed. My bed. It's early. The library downstairs is silent. No one else is here, aside from Juliet. I didn't even transform before falling asleep last night. Just passed out like this, with human arms and legs. No wonder I'm sore. After I agreed to Juliet's offer, the rest of the day passed by quickly. Aspen and Juliet showed me around the house parts of the library, and Juliet made dinner for the three of us. Aspen didn't leave until the evening, and I decided to go to bed early. While the whirlwind of emotions I went through yesterday, I was exhausted and fell asleep as soon as my head hit the pillow. Not having to be on alert the moment I open my eyes is a nice change. I can toss and turn and even doze a little bit longer. I get as much rest as my body will let me. Once I've had my fill of being lazy, I finally crawl out of bed.
Okay, time to get up.
It doesn't take me long to get ready. I tiptoe to the door out of habit, so carefully that only someone with super keen hearing would be able to hear me. But then I remember.
Yeah. I don't need to sneak around while I'm here.
I loosen up and step out into the hallway, shutting the door behind me. Being so openly noisy is almost harder than being sneaky. The building is still quiet. Julia told me to come find her when I wake up, so I make my way down the hallway toward the room she showed me yesterday. It's one of the last in the hall, tucked away in the corner. Unlike the other doors, a tiny bit of flickering light escapes from the gap below.
This is the place.
Now that I'm standing here, my nerves start to get the better of me. What if she's forgotten about me this time and chases me away? Or what if... I screw my eyes shut and take a deep breath, pushing away my worries. If I'm going to stay here for a while, I need to stop thinking like that. I can't let that fear keep winning. Forcing myself to be brave, I twist the doorknob and enter. Wait, I should have knocked, shouldn't I? It's too late now. I step into the room, only to be struck by how dark it is. Just with one window, the main light source is a candlelit lamp, illuminating the white cloth figure sitting at her desk. Just like the library downstairs, there are rows and rows of books covering the shelves around the room. Juliet looks up to greet me with a gentle smile written on her face.
Oh, good morning, Miho. Did you sleep well?
She remembered me. I hide my relief, I think.
I sure did. I think that might have been the best sleep I ever had.
I'm most glad to hear it. Would you like to sit down?
Oh, sure. Thanks.
There's only one other seat, so I awkwardly sit down across from her. It feels a little bit like an interrogation.
Would you like some tea?
I've never had tea, so I don't know if I like it or not. I think I should accept her offer out of politeness, though.
Sure.
Julia pulls out a teacup from a shelf nearby and sets it on a little plate, then pours the tea without spilling a single drop. She pushes the plate with the cup over to me.
Sugar.
I've eaten enough human snacks to know that I like sugar.
Yes, please.
Julia offers me a small pot full of little white cubes. Without hesitating, I take two and toss them in my mouth. They're kind of crunchy at first, but quickly fall apart. Julia frowns a little, enough that humans probably wouldn't notice. Did I do something wrong? Wait, I know.
Oh, thank you.
That gets her to smile, so I'm pretty sure I did the right thing.
We'll have breakfast in a little while. Aspen usually comes by to help open the library, and then we eat together.
That sounds nice. Does she help out because of the sunlight?
My, that's astute of you. You're correct. Although I'm able to tolerate a bit of sun, I do prefer the dark.
She's a vampire. Oh, she's the bat, huh?
I wasn't sure if you knew I was a vampire or not.
Oh shit, I didn't think I was right.
I figured it out just now. That explains how you were able to hear me and find my den, huh?
Indeed. That said, I have my dear friend Orpheus to thank for helping me know where to find you.
Something scratches in the corner of the room, and I look up to notice a large bat dangling from a hook on one of the shelves. Has that been there this entire time?
Is he also...
No, Orpheus is a bat through and through, not a vampire. He happened to notice you on his way home one day.
So that's the friend you were talking about. I was wondering about that.
I have the pleasure of knowing several of Wellington's loco bats. They keep me apprised of news from around the city.
You're not, like... you know...
I tap one of my front teeth, not sure how to ask the question politely.
Oh, heavens no! I consume as little blood as one of my kind can, and what I do partake of is freely donated. I love this city, and its people. I'd never had them like that. Besides, I had quite enough of that during my time in the underworld. Is that where you come from as well?
Oh, I'm not from the underworld. I'm from Korea. I've heard lots about it, though. I'm one of the only fabled I know of who doesn't come from there. For a long time, I didn't even know that other fabled existed.
Indeed. Gumio like yourself are some of the few I know of.
Wait, Gumiho? Is that what I'm called? That explains a lot.
You didn't know, but you go by the name Miho.
Just because I like the sound, I thought it was more like a nickname. I change it up wherever I go. Gumi, Homie, Migu. I've never had a real name. I didn't even know I had a kind. I've never met someone else like me. I wonder if we'd have much in common.
Have other foxes, will Gumiho live in the same kind of life I have? Maybe they're better at fitting in with people than I am, and that's why I've never seen
Are
one.
there any other Gumio in Wellington?
None that I know of. It's possible, though.
I'm not sure what I'd say if I did meet one.
I'd wonder about others like me before, but since I've never met one, I eventually assume they don't exist. Finding out that they do, and that there's even a name for us, comes as a pretty big surprise. No matter how long I've been alive, there's still so much that I don't know about the world. As our discussion tapers off, the sound of the front door reaches my ears from downstairs. Juliet must have heard it too, looking over as I do.
Oh, that'll be Aspen. Shall we go down to breakfast?
I'll never say no to that.
Juliet takes to her feet, blowing up the lamp as she goes. Orpheus the bat leaves the study when we do. Though he flies off in a different direction, I guess he won't be joining us for the meal. Does Aspen know? I have to be careful not to spill my cup of tea as we walk down the stairs. Aspen waits at the bottom, a large book tucked under her arm. She waves with her free hand to greet us.
Good morning, Aspen. It's nice to see you again.
Good morning, Juliet. And you too, Miho. I must admit, I was a little worried you might run off during the night.
I may have thought about it a little. After I went to bed, though, I was out like a light.
Glad you decided otherwise, then. Living in the library sounds like heaven. I can't believe you'd think about giving that up. Anyway, I'm opening today, so I can't stay too late. I'll go ahead and take care of the windows.
I'll get started on breakfast then. Would you like grape or strawberry jam?
I think I'm feeling like strawberry today. Oh, or some of that orange marmalade if there's any left. You have to let Miho try that too.
I'll see if we have it. Is that a nonce you have with you? You can just leave him on the desk for now.
It sure is. I'll be taking Jacques on the way out.
I'll write it down.
The two of them stroll off in different directions while I stand on the stairs, unable to follow any of the conversation.
Who's Jax? Anonsei. I don't see anyone with you.
This is Anonsei.
She taps the cover of the book she brought with her.
He's the author of this. Juliet suggested I read some of his work, but I'm finding him rather dull.
Huh.
I try my best to sound interested, but books are the most boring thing I can imagine. Maybe I'd see the appeal if I could read them, but how can they be better than doing things yourself? After setting the book down on the front desk, Aspen goes into the main room, leaving me alone in the hallway. I make my way down the rest of the steps. Looking down at my teacup, I decide to take a tiny sip. Yuck. It's kind of bitter, but also bland at the same time. Frowning, I set the cup down on one of the shelves nearby. At least I tried it. The sugar was way better, though. The door Aspen went through is still open, and I can hear her bustling around. The room where Juliet went isn't far away either, and I already smell food. I guess I'll go watch Aspen or Juliet. Oh no! Options! Okay. We're gonna save. Okay. And then we go back. Let's go watch Aspen first. Aspen is in the book room by now, and I wander in that direction. She steps from the window to window, pushing them open and pulling the curtain back. With each one, another sunbeam pours in, and the room gets a little bit brighter.
Oh, hey Miho. How was your first night here?
Great! After you left, I went to bed early. And then I got to sleep in!
You sure do love to sleep. Color me even more jealous. I'm working opening shifts most of this week, so I have to be up early every day.
Or else, what?
She stops and gives me a frustratingly familiar look. The look that means I've said something
Or
weird.
else I get reprimanded for being late. Duh. Not to be rude, but, have you never had a job?
Nope. I haven't done most human things, if you can't tell.
Oh, I certainly can tell.
She's a little sassy.
Your life must be fascinating. Someday I'd like to hear about all you've seen and done.
I'm really not that interesting. My life is just wandering around for the most part. I try to avoid doing stuff as much as I can.
I know plenty of people who would kill for a lifestyle like that, you know.
After pushing open the last window, Aspen starts to drift around the room, moving chairs and furniture into their spots.
Anyway, I come here most mornings just to have breakfast and chat with Juliet, even if I'm not opening.
Is there not any food where you live?
There usually is, but I enjoy the company as much as the food. Speaking of which, Juliet should be about done by now. Let's join her, shall we?
Okay, hold on. Wait. I will be right back. Take a little break. Okay, I'm back. And I was looking up to see if it was... What is it? Excuse me. So the only two girls are the two love interests. And you could choose which paths to take between each of them. So, yeah. But there's also the neutral path if you don't want to choose either of them. So far I'm digging Aspen, but since I saved the option thing, we're also gonna double back and go check out what Juliet's thing was. I follow behind Aspen as she walks on, adjusting the rotating a few more out-of-place items on the way. By the time we reach the kitchen, there's a big pile of buttered toast and different spreads waiting for us on the table. As we walk up to her, Juliet's setting down a plate of sliced fruit and another of fried eggs beside it.
You two are right on time. I was just about to call for you.
I have a sixth sense for it, apparently.
We all sit down and dig in. The food, of course, is delicious. Okay, we'll save right here for now. So, go to the log, save. We'll make Aspen's thing this empty one right here. And then we'll go back and load, and we'll choose the options again. To choose Juliet's thing. I follow my nose and head to the kitchen. There's a big frying pan on the stove with a blob of melting butter sizzling in it. Juliet gives the pan a push to move it around before walking to the counter to continue her work.
That smells great!
Oh, Miho. Go ahead and take a seat if you'd like. This shouldn't take long.
I do what she suggests and sits down at the dinner table in the same spot as yesterday. Lovely smells swirl about the room as she opens this jar and that.
What you making?
Fried eggs and toast with some fresh fruit. It's what we usually have. Is that all right with you?
Better than alright. I'm almost drooling just thinking about it.
I hope that it lives up to expectations then.
I watch as she quickly butters a few slices of bread and then tosses them into another pan on the stove. While it cooks, she takes an apple from a nearby bowl of fruit and cuts out the core before swiftly chopping it into perfectly even pieces.
Sure did that fast.
Practice makes perfect, as they say, and I've had quite a lot of practice.
After moving the apple slices onto a plate, she takes an orange and starts to do the same thing.
The bats enjoy fruit as well, so I tend to keep a lot of it around the house. If there are any items you'd like me to keep around the house for you, do let me know.
Something tells me that snacks from the convenience store aren't what she has in mind.
I'll tell you if I think of anything.
Juliet finishes the fruit before dropping the eggs into the pan with butter, where they start to sizzle too. Finally, she slides the toast out and onto a plate. Right as the eggs finish cooking and Juliet sets the table for the three of us, Aspen daintily steps into the
All set
room.
on my end.
Thank you. I just finished cooking too.
We all sit down and dig in. The food, of course, is delicious. I do want to do more of an Aspen route right now. I don't know if picking the girls actually have like an outcome to it or not. Actually, let me see if there is like a huge turnaround. Okay. So the first 3 chapters are introductory chapters for both routes. Choices here do not affect the route, but they unlock route-specific achievements when you start the Aspen or Juliet route. And then chapter 4 is when you get to choose which girl you really want. Okay. That's, you know what? That's pretty good. That way, you know, it's not like, here. But I think we'll save. Damn, it's so hard to see which slot I'm selecting. Okay. I guess this one's Juliet's slot. Okay, but we're gonna load. And we're gonna load the one where we chose with Aspen.
So, Miho, how will you be spending your first day as an official Wellington resident?
I don't know yet. Hadn't really thought about it. Now that you mention it, I'll have a lot more free time now, huh? Usually I'd go hunting for food, or looking for a better place to stay, or...
Instinctively, I go silent as I reach for my pocket in the familiar crumpling paper.
Or...
If it's something you don't want to share, don't feel that you must.
Right, that too.
I hesitate. I'm not sure I've ever told anyone about what I'm searching for, or at least not the specifics. I've had a lot of first times lately, though. What's one more? Besides, maybe the 2 of them can help.
No, it's okay. I've been looking for someone.
I wipe my hands first, making sure they don't have any crumbs or grease on them. Then I carefully slide the thin scroll from my pocket. I always keep it in the deepest part, where it won't get wet or damaged. With great care, I gently unroll it, letting the 2 women see the ink marks brush onto the scroll. The edges are fuzzy with age by now, but the text is still legible, I think anyway.
They gave me this a long time ago. I don't know what it says.
Is that Korean? Maybe Chinese? I'm not able to read either one, unfortunately.
They remind me of older Chinese characters, but I can't be certain myself. Sorry, but I'm not too familiar with them either.
They look a little defeated, but I quickly wave off their concern.
It's okay. Nobody I've asked could read it either. For all I know, they might just be scribbles. I thought that maybe if I knew what it said, it would help me find them.
Who exactly are they, if I may ask?
They're a traveler. I learned that word just to be able to describe them.
They were the first human I ever met, and they told me stories about the rest of the world.
And you've been searching for them ever since then?
Yup. For as long as I can remember. I met them back in Korea, when I was a fox.
I couldn't understand what they were saying. Not until much later.
Reminiscing about them gives me a very particular feeling. It's warm and fuzzy, but also a little sad. I think people call it nostalgia. My voice is a little quieter as I finish what I mean to say.
But that never stopped them from coming to see me. I don't know their name or even where they're from, but I'll definitely recognize them when I see them again.
Ooh, there's a chance that person might be like dead if they are human. Both Aspen and Juliet are quiet for a moment, visibly thinking over what I've said. After a long while, it's Juliet who speaks first.
In that case, I'd be happy to assist in any way I can.
Me too, of course. Speaking of which, I may have found something useful to you. I was doing a little bit of research on Gumiho last night. There was surprisingly little to be found compared to some of the other fabled.
Wait a sec. You found out that I'm a Gumio too?
Well, yes. It wasn't too difficult to look up. Is that odd?
So in less than a day, both Aspen and Juliet were able to learn something about myself that I couldn't in a lifetime.
I guess not.
I only realize how I sound after I've said it. Juliet shoots a look at Aspen, who quickly tries to move the discussion along.
Anyway, I was trying to find out why Juliet and I can remember you when nobody else can. Although I didn't find anything about memories in particular, there was one story that claimed a Gumiho's curse doesn't take effect until a full day later.
Oh, of course. And since you and I both saw Miho again before too much time passed, we didn't forget her.
Oh.
Right. That also makes sense from what you told us yesterday, Miho, doesn't it? You said you don't tend to talk to people a second time.
Yeah, I usually try to avoid it, really.
I hadn't ever thought of my magic as a curse before, but I guess to the person who forgets me, it is.
So that means that all we have to do to avoid forgetting about Miho is...
It's impossible to miss the pause before Aspen's words, like she's not confident in what she's about to say.
see her every day. Forever.
Forever. That word hangs in the air. Aspen says it cheerfully, but even I could recognize just how impossible that is. At some point, even these two will forget about me, won't they? Why even try then? Why bother? If I know it'll just hurt in the end. On cue, those kind of doubts start to swirl in my head, like always. It's so tempting to just stop caring and give up on others. No, I won't let myself dwell on that, not on my first day living here. Who knows, even if it's a long time from now, maybe these thoughts will go away for good. Juliet clears her throat before silence goes on for too long.
Well, that's not bad at all. Preserving the memory of those you hold dear is one of the most important parts of life.
Aspen ponders for a moment before nodding.
It really is.
It seems a little early for either of them to consider me dear to them, but I keep that to myself.
So, anyway, about Jax.
For relief, Aspen changes the subject away from me and my magic. As Juliet and Aspen chat between themselves, the conversation drifts onto things I don't know about, and people and places I don't recognize. It's all probably related to books. I smile and laugh when they do, but I'm not really paying attention or talking. Listening to the two of them, they might as well be speaking a different language. The more I observe, the more it seems I'll have to learn. Not just about normal people and human life, but about myself as well, and even the world. And one day, both Aspen and Juliet were able to figure out what I am, and how my magic works. I've had a long time to do that, and still had no idea. It doesn't even seem like it was hard for them. There's something that I had to admit to myself. I haven't really tried before. Just what have I been missing out on? I feel something bubbling up inside me, the same feeling as yesterday when I decided to come back to the library instead of running away. Something that makes me clench my fists and take a deep breath as I make another decision. Something that I realize I can put a name to, even though it's a new one for me. This is what people call hope. Even if it's pointless in the end.
I want to learn how to be a person.
Julia cuts off whatever she was saying mid-sentence. Both she and Aspen turns to face me, eyes wide. Oops, I guess I should have started by waiting for them to stop talking.
You want to... what?
I've already messed this up, but I
Be a
kept going.
person, to know about the things you two are talking about. All the stuff that you give me a weird look for when I don't know. I want to learn about it.
I'd say that you're already well on your way.
Her expression becomes quite serious as she continues. I'm a little glad. She sees as much weight behind this as I feel about it.
Miho, there are some things that you can't rush or change overnight. This is definitely one of them. That said, starting can be the hardest part. You've already taken the first steps.
What Juliet said. I'm sorry, too. I didn't mean to keep you out of our conversation.
No, it's okay. I was busy thinking anyway. I can't stop looking for my person, of course, but maybe I can do more than that too.
We'll help you in any ways that we can.
Aspen nods in agreement, but then checks the time and sighs.
We'll have to wait until later, though, because I need to be leaving for work. I'm sure Juliet needs her rest, too.
Thanks. I am rather tired. Will you be alright on your own for the day, Miho?
Yeah, I should be. I'll figure out something to do.
Ah, wonderful. Here, let me take those.
She gets up and collects the dirty plates and carries them to the sink.
Tomorrow I have to go in earlier than usual to open. If you come by, I can make you that drink again, Miho. As long as you promise not to run away, that is.
Sure. Don't worry. I'm not going anywhere this time. Although... will it still be at home?
At home?
Like... free?
Oh, on the house! Yes, of course! This should probably be the last time, though, or my boss will start getting upset.
Aw, okay. It was nice while it lasted.
Aspen pauses as she rises from the table and starts to leave.
You know, getting a job might be a good idea if you're serious about living a normal life. It's hardly the most fun, but then you could buy as many fairy kiss chillers as you want.
A job? Sounds like a pain.
Oh, it is, girl. Don't worry. It is. Aspen just sighs as I sink into my seat. The way she talks about having a job makes it sound awful.
Well, it's just a suggestion. See you later, Juliet. Miho.
With that, she takes her leave as Juliet and I wave her off. After the distant sound of Juliet shutting her bedroom door, the whole library is silent, leaving me alone with my thoughts in the kitchen. The front doors are unlocked and open to everyone, so it's just a matter of time until first guests arrive.
Oh. What do I do now?
The empty room doesn't have an answer. Right about now, I'd usually be scrounging for breakfast, or scoping out a new place, or maybe even planning where I'll spend the night. But with a full belly and a bed to come back to, I don't have to worry about any of that. Instead, I have a lot of free time on my hands.
Guess I'll explore.
It's how I've been spending a lot of my time recently anyway. And while Juliet and Aspen seem fine so far, it's a little tiring to be around other people so much. Having some alone time is important too. Making my way into town, I try to pay more attention to what people are doing, instead of searching for opportunities. I meant what I said about wanting to be more of a person, but small steps are easier for me. And if there's one thing I'm good at, it's observing. Of course, I'll also be keeping an eye out for anything that can help me find my person, but I have to admit that I don't have much of a plan for that. Usually when I go to a new country or city, I'll try to find someone who might know them, or who recognizes my scroll. I usually prefer asking other Fabled. They're easier to deal with than humans. It's not a very efficient plan, if I'm really being honest. I'd have to get really lucky for it to work, but I haven't come up with any better ideas. Now that Aspen and Juliet have offered to help me, maybe they'll be able to think of something new. For now, I'm just killing time. I take it slow passing through the city and even pop into some stores along the way. One is full of musical instruments, while right next door is a store selling kitchen utensils. Across the street, there's another place with a rack full of used clothes. I step into each store and pace around the aisles, just browsing usually. I never come into these kinds of shops. Even though they have some expensive stuff, it's all bulky and hard to carry. Plus, I've learned that hard way that some pawn shops or buyers are good at guessing when something's stolen. Now that I'm paying more attention onto what's for sale, I realize that I don't know what a lot of this stuff does. In the kitchen store, there's normally pots and pans and dishes, which makes sense, but there's also a bunch of different gadgets with all kinds of shapes and sizes. I can't even guess what you'd use some of them for. At the music store, I recognize a few instruments like guitars and pianos and drums. There are also a bunch that I've seen before, but don't know the names of, mostly the kinds you play with your mouth. Then there are some that I've never seen, and can't even be sure they are actually instruments, and not some other kind of device. I seem to be the only one having this problem in both stores. The other customers I've seen all walk around like they know what they're doing, or at least are looking for something in particular. I tried to listen in on a conversation that someone's having with the salesperson, but it's just like listening to Aspen and Juliet talk. I don't recognize half the words. In the end, I don't spend long in either store.
This is already harder than I thought.
Nearby, there's a clock outside one of the stores, and it informs me that it's only been an hour or so since I left the library. There's still a long time before Juliet will be up. Guess I'll keep looking around. Although I'm not expecting much, I continue to browse through most of the shops I pass, just for something to do. I think about going to the Bell House and saying hello to Aspen, but when I get there, there's a line out the door and around the building. Peeking through the window, I don't even see her, and said someone else is taking orders at the counter. I don't feel like waiting, so I keep walking instead. I end up walking for as long as I can stand it, past the Skyport, the beach, past Mount Victoria, back towards town yet again. When it eventually gets too boring even for me, I head back to the library. It's much busier now than when I left it. There's a pile of books on the desk that people have brought back, and the checkout sheet is half full. Some of the chairs are occupied, and at least a dozen of people are browsing the shelves. None of them pay me any mind, even when I grab a snack from the kitchen and then head up to my room. In there, I do the only thing there is to do. Flop onto my bed and look up at the ceiling. Don't get me wrong, I'm glad to have a bed to do that in, but it doesn't help much right now.
So I can be bored outside or bored inside.
In my normal life, I'm usually too busy to be bored. Having time to rest and relax can be a luxury. Now I've got more time than I know what to do with. I haven't even realized this would be a problem.
All I can do is wait for Juliet.
Hopefully, she'll have some ideas. I get the feeling she could give advice on anything.
May as well get comfy.
Yawning, I get under the covers and then transform into a fox. With a soft pillow under my head and the cozy blanket above me, it's a lot like being in a very comfortable den. And after all the walking I did, a nap does sound pretty nice. If I'm lucky, I won't wake up until Juliet does. Wrapping my tail around my face, I close my eyes and eventually drift off to sleep. It's almost dark out when I finally open my eyes, just like this morning. It takes a second for me to remember where I am, burrowing my way out of the blankets and then retake my human form, rubbing the sleepiness from my eyes.
That nap worked better than I expected.
Hopefully Juliet will be awake by now. If she isn't, I don't know what I'll do. There's no way I'm falling back asleep anytime soon. Unlike this morning when I passed by Juliet's office, there's no light. from under the door. I do catch the sound of something going on in the kitchen, so I make my way downstairs. In the kitchen, I'm treated to quite the
Good
sight.
evening, Miho. I'll be with you in just a moment.
It's not just Julia in the kitchen, but 3 bats as well. One clings to the back of the chair Aspen sat in this morning, and the other is on top of the fridge. The third one is perched on Juliet's shoulder. I think it's the same one that I saw in her office. Juliet's holding a small bag and handing out the contents to the different bats. On closer inspection, I realize that they're bugs. Ew. All the bats devour them greedily, including the one nibbling on Juliet's ear. She doesn't seem too bothered and hands them each another treat.
All right, here are the last ones.
The bats on the chair and fridge finish their snacks and they fly over my head and out the kitchen. Their wings nearly clip me in the face, and the gust they create blows my hair around. The one that stays on Juliet's shoulder even after it's finished eating, and then Juliet picks up a small envelope from the counter and ties it to one of the bat's legs.
Thank you, Orpheus. We'll see you soon.
Launching itself off Juliet's shoulder, Orpheus takes flight and exits through one of the library windows. Even though he was much bigger than the other bat, it doesn't look like Juliet was fazed by being used as a launch pad.
My apologies, Miho. You caught me just at dinner time for the bats.
It's okay. I just woke up.
Oh? I take it you had a busy day then?
Well, not really. Just walked around for a while and then took a nap because didn't know what else to do.
I see. I'm sorry to have left you on your own all day. I should have made sure you were taken care of before I went to sleep.
She sure does apologize a lot. Is that what it means to be polite? It makes me kind of uncomfortable. It's not like she did anything wrong.
What are some of your hobbies? There are all manner of things tucked away in this room. All that throughout the library.
Hobbies? I don't think I know that word.
Something you do for fun, just because you enjoy it.
Oh! I don't really have anything like that.
Although she raises her eyebrows, Juliet just nods. I'm guessing that wasn't an answer she was expecting.
I think I understand. Well, perhaps that should be our first order of business. I believe you'd find your life much enriched with something amusing to do.
Okay. Like what?
She ponders for a moment, tapping the countertop beside her.
Could be anything. A sport, an art, or even something like watching television. Whatever brings you joy.
Pretty sure I've never tried any of those.
Then, it seems we have plenty of options to start with. I know you've done a lot of walking today already, but I need to go into town to run some errands. Would you be interested in accompanying me? Maybe we'll see something along the way that strikes your fancy.
Sure. Fine by me. Not like I've got anything better to do.
With a smile, Juliet gathers up some more papers and envelopes from the table and tucks them under her arm.
Let's be off then.
Leaving the library unlocked, we set off down the familiar path. Juliet maintains a brisk pace, but it isn't too fast. I like this a lot more than going slow.
So, Miho, how are you enjoying Wellington itself so far?
I like it. It's not too big and it's not too small. Like that there's the ocean and mountains close by.
Yes, we're truly fortunate to live in such a paradise.
How'd you end up here in the first place? You said you came from the underworld, right?
That's correct. Ugh, I was much wilder and irresponsible in those days.
Damn, she really said back in my day.
Then, I met someone who changed my life. Someone who made me want to be a better person. Pas de Bête meant reinventing myself. With a new life in a new place. Rather like what you've been doing too.
Huh. I can't picture you being crazy like you said.
That's something of a relief, but it was certainly true at the time. Sometimes, it does feel as if I was an entirely different person back then. It can be difficult to reconcile who we were with who we are, or want to be.
Doesn't seem like you had too much trouble with it.
I wouldn't say that. For one, this was very long ago. And even now, I continue to change. Everyone does. Perhaps in a few hundred years, I'll look back on these days, and they'll also seem like someone else's life.
Maybe.
Not that I think Juliet is lying, but it seems to me like she's just being modest. I may not have known her for long, but if anything, she seems a little too perfect. It isn't too late in the evening yet, so there are plenty of other people out and about too. Occasionally, someone will recognize and greet Juliet, and she always gives them a friendly greeting in return. After walking in silence for a couple of minutes, I clear my throat.
I've got a question.
What is it?
Do you always walk places?
As opposed to?
Flying. Can't you turn into a bat?
Oh, yes. I suppose I can. I do so only sparingly, though. I find that I appreciate life more as a human than as a bat.
Why? That's weird. Like being a fox a lot more. Being a human just feels clumsy. Your arms and legs are way too long and get in the way all the time.
I suppose that's true. It can be quite awkward at times. Or even embarrassing.
Yeah, exactly! I've never been embarrassed as a fox.
I understand. There are certainly downsides. I believe the good makes up for the bad, though. Some things are only possible as a human, or fabled.
Like what? I can't think of any, other than talking like this.
Like writing, for one thing, as our dear friend Aspen would surely mention. Or perhaps... like dancing. Have you ever danced, Miho?
Nope, never. I don't get why people do it either. Don't tell me you like dancing. Is that your hobby?
I must confess that I do enjoy it. At times, that is. I wouldn't call it a hobby. But, with the right person, at the right moment, it can be quite nice.
If you say so.
I find myself saying that a lot lately. Shaking and flopping your body around to music. It's not for me. I don't even know how they come up with this stuff. But I'm trying to remember to be polite, so I keep that part to myself.
So, on that note, I should have asked this earlier. Are there any hobbies that you have as Fox?
I never thought about it that way. Now that you mention it... almost everything is better as a fox. The sun feels nicer on my fur than it does on my skin. Flowers smell better and more interesting when I sniff them. It's more... vivid.
I remember Aspen using that word to explain what it means. I bet she'd be proud if she heard me use it.
You do make it sound lovely. But are those things you do for fun?
Well...
I almost say yes right away, but then I think about it for a second. I do love those things I mentioned, but maybe they don't fit what Juliet is asking.
Guess not. They feel good, but they're not fun.
That's still valuable too.
So far we've been following the same path that I took earlier when I went into town. But when we came to a crossroad, Juliet turns in the direction of a neighborhood instead of the city.
The first stop I need to make is down here. After that, we'll go look around and see if there's anything fun.
Alright, I'm just following you.
This isn't the same neighborhood where I hid from Juliet a couple nights ago, although it's pretty similar. Some of these houses are the sort that reminded me of Bugs when I first arrived in Wellington. We stopped at one of them, a little one-story house with a porch light on. I followed Juliet to the front door, and she rings the doorbell.
Is this for one of your errands?
Yes, we're delivering those papers that were requested.
She straightens out the 2 yellow packets she was carrying. The door opens, and a young woman carrying a baby stands behind it.
Oh, Miss Juliet! So good to see you!
With one of her trademark smiles, Juliet hands over the papers, and the two chat for a bit. I lean against the wall, not involved or listening. When talking to the lady, Juliet uses the same warm tone and softness as when she's talking to me in Aspen. In fact, if I close my eyes, I could almost pretend that I'm back at the breakfast table, with both of them listening to them go on about books. Eventually, the woman takes the folder, and after saying goodbye several times, we leave. As soon as we're off her property, I turn to Juliet.
What was that all about?
I suppose you could call it another one of my hobbies. Sometimes, patrons have requests for information on their ancestors, or a piece of history that they'd like to learn about. For example, Mrs. Aliyu wanted to know about her husband's culture so she could teach her new child. I find and collect what's requested, and bring it to those who asked.
Whoa! Sounds like a lot of work.
It can be, but I don't mind it. The past is worth preserving, but not everyone knows how. It's my honor to help people do so. I have assistants too, such as dear Orpheus, who is delivering a letter on the far side of town for me.
Are all the bats your helpers?
Some more than others. They're friends, not pets. And so if they don't feel like helping, then I won't force them.
To me, it sounds like a lot of trouble to go through for someone else, even with the bats helping out. But Julia apparently likes being inconvenienced. It's the same as letting me stay in her library. Orpheus persona mention. I didn't think about that. Still, that sounds like it could be really helpful in my own search for the traveler. As Juliet leads us to our next destination, we leave the residential area and go back towards the city. I try to keep my eyes peeled for anything interesting, but there are plenty of people sitting out at the tables having a meal or walking around the shops, but nothing out of the ordinary. In fact, it's not that much different from when I was here earlier. There are more fable and fewer humans, but there are still plenty of those too. Some of the places I pass by are closed now, but some, like the music store, are still open. When we come to a big building with a lot of posters on the wall outside, we stop.
This is one of our movie theaters. They show all the most popular films, as well as independent ones from local creators. Have you ever been to see a movie before?
Not in a place like this. I know what movies are, but I don't think I've ever watched one.
You should try it sometime. Maybe you'll find you like them. Movies can make you feel all kinds of different things. Happy, sad, scared, or just amused. Some are good for making you think, and some are good because you don't have to think about anything and can just relax.
Why would I want to watch something that makes me sad or scares me?
For some, it's fun to explore different emotions in a safe environment like that. When we see something that makes us feel strongly, it can stick with you. Perhaps cause you to view things in a different light. And if it ever becomes too much, you can simply stop watching or put on something else.
I'll try it sometime. Although, I don't know about the sad or scary ones.
There's nothing wrong with that. Everyone has different preferences.
Along the way, Julia continues to point out different shops and locations that she thinks I should know about, like another library or a museum. I'm not very interested in either of those things, but I smile and nod and pretend like I am. After a while, we leave the city behind and reach the waterfront, just like I usually do. The ocean looks much different at night, with the starlight and moonlight reflecting off the water. Far out at sea, there are a few lights that must come from the boats, and sometimes lights in the sky from passing airships. We head down a small path to the boardwalk, where we look out onto the water. There are a few empty buckets sitting on the ground nearby, as well as some folding chairs. I point them out.
What are those for?
People like to fish off at this pier. They come at all hours, but I believe this spot is used for teaching lessons during the day.
Ooh, lessons on how to catch fish?
That's correct. Is that something you're interested in?
Maybe. It's one of those things that I like doing as a fox, but I don't know if I'd like doing it the human way.
Should you decide you'd like to try, I'm sure there would be someone here who's happy to instruct you.
Yeah, maybe.
I didn't want to commit to anything, but it couldn't hurt to come check this place out during the day.
I'm glad you found something that struck your fancy. Is there anywhere else you'd like to visit while we're out? Or should we return home?
Nah, I'm ready to head back. Is there anything for dinner?
I'm sure we can put something together.
Then let's go!
Since I actually know where we are now, I lead the way home, with just Juliet close behind me. Alright. It is the next day. Oh, pause. Whoa there. Oh, I didn't know I could pause it like that. Bruce is always right. Aspen just wants to treat Miho to coffee, but Lita has plenty to say about that. Oh boy. Anyway. We're gonna save this. And we're gonna... Are you gonna quit this and save game progress? Yes. Yep. Wait, let's see what's in the extras.
I have the perfect recommendation.
Gallery. Okay, so it's just showing all the things that we've seen so far. Yeah. Damn. There's a good amount of content logged. Wait. Game logos? Oh, okay. When does the shrimp fry some rice? No, Wonder, no. Okay. But yeah. Anyways, that's gonna be it for today's stream. Thank you so much for watching. See you next time on this weird story so far, honestly. I don't know how I feel about it. So far, I'm not really a fan of the main character. I think I like Aspen more. But yeah. Anyways, see you next time. Have a good one. Take care. Goodbye. Blah, 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 blah.